At this point, you can already guess how this is gonna go. People usually get some shiny superpowers or magical cheat codes to fight monsters. Yawn, predictable as hell. Our boy stares at his phone, thinking exactly that, like seriously, he's reading his own destiny on a screen. Classic. Suddenly, a blinding light blasts out of the phone, because of course it does. Yep, he's thinking the same holy crap, this is actually happening thought. Welcome to reality, dumbass. The catch, out of literally everyone on Earth, he's the chosen one, and the world's crawling with monsters that need to be annihilated. No pressure. As if juggling a normal life and schoolwork wasn't enough, now he's gotta be the solo slayer. Lucky bastard. To figure out how he got screwed this badly, let's rewind a bit. Bayon is your textbook average Joe, the human equivalent of plain toast, completely unremarkable. With zero self-esteem to his name, loser is actually being generous. Being this basic, his favorite hobby is binging webtoons because why not? He's totally on top of his weekly series, keeping up with every new drop like a caffeine addict on scroll mode. Naturally, he always drops hot takes whenever something's fire, and yep, that's exactly what he's doing right now. Predictably, he bumps straight into a classmate while being glued to his screen. Smooth move, genius. His first thought, apologize because manners still exist barely. But she hits him with the look where you're going lecture. Meanwhile, she's staring at her own damn phone, classic hypocrite. With the kind of glare that could melt steel, she judges him like he's a virus. Then she just walks off, leaving him to drown in his own misery. Problem is, this poor sap is head over heels for her, like full-on romantic sitcom levels. She just has no clue. Before he can even wallow, some dude slaps him upside the head for looking weird. Honestly, he kinda deserved it, the face was horrific. The brute orders him to stop staring at the girl, because yeah, threatening strangers fixes everything. Of course, he's the rich jerk type, and to make life even more tragic, our protagonist's dad works for his dad. Power dynamics, yay. He mumbles an apology, realizing the villains in his webtoons are way more brutal than this guy. Then, because the universe hates him, a grotesque, straight-out-of-a-nightmare monster shows up in the hallway. Just one look into its eyes and it's obvious, nope, you're screwed. If 100 men can't even beat a gorilla, think about fighting this abomination. Yeah, good luck with that. Our boy feeling something, and by something I mean literal excitement in the pants, freaking idiot. This is textbook protagonist power-up fantasy. He's secretly hoping some sidekick will appear to save him. Bro, if that were me, I'd be sprinting faster than Usain Bolt out of there. And that's it, his sanity, obliterated. He's now expecting a magical girlfriend NPC to drop from the sky, at least in S-Rank 1. On the floor lies the rich jerk, first victim to the creature's love tap. Tender greeting, if you will, courtesy of the monster. That's when our boy starts connecting dots. A golden chance to flex his protagonist status and rescue the dude who's been terrorizing him at school. The monster swings at the student, who somehow dodges, while our hero is still overthinking like a freaking essay writer. Then the system window pops up, announcing that he's been chosen. Cue dramatic music. Everything clicks into place, status window perfect, exactly what this story demanded. Meanwhile, the rich kid is crying for help, and our protagonist is like, chill, I'll save you right after I unlock my powers. Smooth. The system says he'll train for 6,666 years in another dimension. Beat the tower, get divine powers, save humanity. Yeah, no big deal. But he's impatient. Who wants to read exposition when you can have instant gratification? Rich kid is struggling to survive while he scrolls. System basically asks, wanna grind 66,666 years to become op? And of course he's like, heck yes, let's go. Accepting means choosing a skill, big choices, bigger headache. While he dithers, the rich kid is almost becoming a chew toy. Priorities, am I right? The system says he can pick literally any skill, cue massive indecision. Confirming suspicions, the system adds, you can literally save another world, no pressure champ. He could become a decanter and command his own army, yeah, that's a thing. Or he could grab the most mystical artifact in existence, because why not? Whatever you can imagine, it's doable. But remember, the Tower of Trials isn't a walk in the park, it's more like hell with stairs. Over 60,000 floors and only a year to clear it. Survive or die trying, good luck, moron. After processing this nightmare of options, he thinks even harder, genius. Now he's stuck debating between skill or item, thrilling. At this exact moment, the rich kid whines about the promise to save him, and our protagonist goes, chill a sec, patience is a virtue. Finally, our genius reaches a conclusion, took long enough, champ. He taps a button on the system screen like some dramatic YouTube clickbait hero. Time to announce his oh-so-groundbreaking choice. Brace yourselves. Suspense drips from his eyes like he's about to drop a plot twist so wild even the writers are shook. He asks for a ticket that teleports him straight to the final floor of the Tower of Trials. Yeah, he just skipped the entire grind. Cheater move, but hilarious. The move is so absurd, so freaking smart that even the monster freezes mid-slash. Seriously, this thing just paused. Not just the monster, the system itself is caught buffering. Talk about glitch in the matrix. He remembers the rules, choose a skill or an item. Classic loophole exploitation incoming. The system panics, bending rules is one thing, but this, straight up shattering them. Naturally, the boy calls it out, you're lying to everyone, and honestly, he's got a point, systems love lying. No other option, so the system begrudgingly hands over the ticket. Take it, you little savage. And yep, it works. The system confirms, teleport to the final floor, reap every reward, no cap. Use the item now, the system asks. He slams yes like it's a fast food drive-through order. That tiny scrap of paper starts glowing like a damn lighthouse on steroids. The light is so blinding it distracts both the rich kid and the monster who were literally seconds from snacking on him. The boy is now wrapped in mysterious glow, looking fabulous of course. The shine is so insane it feels like the entire school building just got upgraded to a premium package. For a brief second, Earth looks like the biggest LED in the galaxy, bright enough to give astronauts sunglasses. Staring at his empty hands, he wonders if he just broke the universe. Maybe he did. The system chimes in with congratulations, you reached the end of the Tower of Trials. Yep, you earned your power-up montage. He gets superpowers and SSS tier abilities. Humanity, totally outclassed. Modifications and max stats pop up everywhere. He's basically cheating on God mode. And suddenly, he's back at school, glowing even harder. You can literally see him from space now. Transformation complete in the blink of an eye. No slow motion montage needed. Loser, forget it, that label S been vaporized. Energy radiates from him like a walking nuke, and the monster finally realizes tables have turned. Rookie mistake, pal. The rich kid's jaw drops. Yeah, this is what happens when the main character actually powers up. Seeing the monster hesitate, our protagonist casually asks, just gonna stand there or savage? The creature freaks, glancing at the rich kid like save me man, but the rich kid just points at the glowing boy. Ouch. Realization hits, monster still has a job to do, too bad for it, rules don't apply to MCs. The creature charges full confidence, big mistake. Everything moves in slow motion to our boy, classic I'm way too strong moment. He decides to milk his first combat window, efficiency people. One flick of his fingers enough to finish the monster, mic drop. And he does it instantly, zero hesitation, hero energy overload. The hallway explodes in light like atoms just decided to have a nuclear rave. Absolute power is now in his fingertips, don't blink. And chaos ensues inside the school, walls never heard of them. The energy isn't just destructive, it's rewrite the laws of physics destructive. Earth too small, the blast hits space itself, no big deal. A beam capable of vaporizing anything in its path. Yeah, not subtle. Now we know what hit Earth. Total annihilation courtesy of our protagonist and a dead-ass monster. That raw power way beyond anything he originally planned. Plot armor is real, folks. System pops back in, time to calculate rewards, don't hold your breath. His stats are ridiculous, records broken, limits shattered, rewards insane. Who knew asking for a shortcut ticket would turn into total cosmic chaos? The system reports 2 billion casualties. No, seriously, billion, that's not a typo. The rich kid finally grasps that the monster was just a mosquito compared to the real deal. Trying to collect himself, he asks what the hell just happened. Boy responds, way too formal bro, savage energy. Time to focus, harness a powerful magic gleaned from, well, all of this madness. SS tier time regression ability activates. Yep, he just unlocked a cheat that bends time itself. Game over, humanity. Our boy was on a mission to undo the chaos he'd just unleashed, trying to hit rewind on reality itself. Basically, he wanted to patch up the damage from his oops I'm too powerful moment. The raw energy he'd spat out was creeping back into his control like a sluggish cat. Not just energy, hell, even the damn gears of reality started spinning backward. Right back to the split second when he'd flicked his fingers and thought, yeah, this is a genius plan. He was almost hitting the reset button on his own disaster. Until finally, his ridiculous power managed to plop him right where he wanted. Talk about lucky. There he stood, face to face with that super scary creature he'd already traumatized. That's when it hit him. The monster, despite looking like a nightmare, was basically shaking in its boots. Hands on his head, our boy let out a relieved sigh, whispering a half-hearted apology. First time handling power like a freaking god, what did he expect? Meanwhile, the poor beast was trying to sneak away through a hole in the wall, probably thinking, I'm out, dumbass human. Naturally, our genius MC used his imprisonment ability to call it out like, where do you think you're running? The idea of killing it twice hit him with a pang of guilt. Classic oops I have a conscience moment. Seizing the awkward pause, he asked if the rich kid had sent the creature to buy bread, because of course priorities. The rich kid, realizing he was officially a moron, immediately switched gears, insisting he'd do it himself. Then he started apologizing like his life depended on it, which honestly it kinda did. But our protagonist, he stayed icy, looking like he could roast the kid into another dimension. He told him to chill for a sec. There was still work to do because saving the day isn't a one-step process. Outside, the city was getting absolutely wrecked by monsters, like apocalypse-level chaos. The rich kid finally realized this wasn't just bad, it was straight-up terrifying. Fear hit him like a truck, and he literally crawled to our hero, begging for help like a desperate little brat. But our boy, he was busy AF, telling him to hold his horses because saving everyone at the school was more urgent. Only then did he drop the truth bomb, saving his own family trumped everyone else. Savage but fair. And shockingly, the rich kid got it. Finally, some brain cells activated. Our boy tapped into his A-rank transportation skill. Vanishing from the school like he'd never existed, blink and you'd miss him. Meanwhile, a man was catching the perfect post-lunch nap on a ridiculously comfy bed. Sleep so deep it could survive the apocalypse and not give a damn. This was our hero's parents glued to the TV. Mom's impressed by how tidy a manchild's room could be, dad's wishing he could nap that hard during work breaks. Absolute flex. Suddenly, an emergency broadcast cut through their cozy lives. Korea's capital was under monster siege. Citizens, brace yourselves. The couple froze, phone buzzing on the table like it was mocking them. They peeked out the window, curiosity mixed with pure dread. And yep, the news wasn't lying. The world was being ripped apart by nightmare beasts. The scene was so horrifying it could make your soul pack up and leave. By stepping out, they'd basically sent a neon sign screaming, "Here we are, you monster bastards." Of course, one of those creatures took immediate notice, zero subtlety. The entire apartment was about to get annihilated in a single, oops I'm hungry strike. Cue our protagonist, popping up behind the monster like a walking nightmare, asking, "What the hell are you doing?" Gravity inversion activated. He was about to teach this oversized idiot a lesson in physics. Magic requires a target, so he had to pick his object wisely, because random chaos isn't enough. Before the creature could even process, its body started levitating. Surprise, sucker. It ascended into the air like reality itself had a mind to troll the monster. Parents safe, fully untouched. Problem was, seeing their son floating like some floating anime protagonist wasn't on the morning agenda. Passing through walls as if they were made of tissue paper, he confirmed yes, he was very much their kid. But their disbelief was Olympic level, so much crazy was hitting them at once. Dad snapped, "Why aren't you at school? And seriously, shoes in the house, what kind of monster raised you?" Our boy shrugged, "None of that matters right now." Parents disagreed. "Just because the world's on fire doesn't mean you skip manners, kid." So he kicked off the shoes, acknowledging the years of parenting torture that got him this far. Respect. After all, he never let go of his phone for a second. And yeah, mom and dad were constantly sweating bullets over it. And just like that, the parents could stop losing sleep, because their kid had apparently been handpicked as humanity's freaking savior. But honestly, the more he rambled, the more their brains melted. "Reading all this nonsense," Mom muttered, "is literally frying his neurons." Our boy confessed he'd thought about this for ages. Every protagonist in his beloved stories could juggle 10 crises at once without breaking a sweat. He admired that multitasking madness, but one thing always gnawed at him. Those stories always kicked off the same way, like a broken record of predictability. The hero would stumble onto some big revelation. Time travel, future knowledge, a perfect sidekick to sprinkle in some cheer classic. But guess what? None of those geniuses thought about family, morons. Our boy never overlooks his folks. He equipped them with a freaking arsenal of abilities, thank you very much. Even after all that philosophical preaching, Dad, in true old-school fashion, had to ask again, "What the hell are you yammering on about?" Bottom line, protecting family comes before every epic plot twist. He dropped a massive area spell, a fortress that screamed, "Not today, monsters." Absolute, impenetrable, and seriously overkill. That should be enough to keep the monsters from so much as sneezing near his parents. Finally, he could go back to saving the world, but new parents had to grill him one more time. "Seriously, what the hell are you doing?" He kissed them off with a quick, "Love you guys," because even saviors need family time. And boom, another blinding light filled the room. For now, nobody had answers. Parents just muttered back, "Love you too, kiddo," still half blinded by reality meltdown. Outside the school, the aftermath was ugly. Stuff was destroyed, no sugarcoating it. Our hero had returned to the chaos he'd left behind. The rich kid, bending over backwards in full grovel mode, asked about the parents. MC confirmed they were fine. That little nugget of relief practically knocked the rich kid flat on his ass. Time to revisit the pressing matter of the bread, because apparently, nothing's more important than carbs. And yep, the rich kid groveled again, apologizing like a scared little puppy. He had no choice. Our protagonist, formerly the victim of this nonsense, was ready to school him proper. He summoned a massive spell, leaving the poor brat sweating bullets like a horror victim. With eyes cold and psychotic, he asked, "Do you really like hamburger buns?" Because now he was about to eat, until you're literally dead from carbs. Mountains of hamburgers appeared out of thin air, burying the poor bully in a literal carbocalypse. Escaping that hamburger pile, good luck, asshole. Once the storm of buns calmed down, the bully somehow crawled out. But MC stayed calm, analyzing, weak, pathetically weak. He'd expected a fight, not a noodle arm. The rich kid, finally intimidated, asked if this was necessary, claiming he hadn't been that bad. Our boy realized he still hadn't delivered the full punishment, sending the bully into full panic mode. Time for a flashback montage, because nothing says lesson learned like reliving your failures in vivid HD. MC remembered everything, every insult, every torment. Mocking laughter from the despicable little turd, remembered. Burning his school uniform, oh yeah, vivid memory. Being forced to eat lunch after a toilet drop, daily trauma 100%. Logged glasses, check. And of course the bully had conveniently forgotten all of it, classic. He admitted asking the boy to fetch bread, but the rest, nada. He couldn't even recall glasses that weren't there anymore. MC, unamused, asked if the bully was denying the truth. Surprisingly, the brat stuck to his story. That was enough. MC accepted the apology, but naturally he had to deliver a gift for future good vibes. The bully's first wish, a body sculpted by pure juice. Ridiculous. Perfect. MC activated his transformation ability. Green mist enveloped the boy's body because why not? Transformation initiated. Myths and expectations vanished, but surprise, no ripped muscles here. The rich kid, he'd been turned into a hamburger. The little hamburger was losing his mind, while our protagonist laughed like a maniac at the absurdity of it all. He casually mentioned that if the guy regretted his life choices, he could snap him back to normal, sending the tiny sandwich into full-on panic mode. But their chaotic chit-chat got interrupted by a female voice cutting through like a hot knife. It was that girl, the one who looked at our hero like he was the trash in a cursed anime scene. MC immediately knew who just waltzed in, no guessing required. He proudly declared he had been chosen by the gods, while the hamburger pleaded for mercy like a literal carb casualty. The girl freaked when the hamburger started talking. MC, ever the savage, said it was adorable and casually offered her a bite. She clutched her chest like someone just handed her the plot twist of a lifetime, asking if he wasn't scared. Considering the entire world had gone straight to hell and half of humanity was probably dead, her question was valid. And for some unfathomable reason, the school was deserted, all communication dead, no police to call. Matt, knowing what went down, made her panic fully. She couldn't wrap her head around how MC could be grinning through this apocalypse, tears streaming down her face. Triggered, she got a strong reaction from our protagonist, savage but justified. He asked if she really had never read a single story in her life. They're fun, he said, and the reason the halls were empty, lazy author energy, no one else mattered. Honestly, he had a point, but the girl blinked, confused. Apparently she lacked even a hint of romance sense, which made the situation a hot mess. Hands on his head, MC began an overdramatic lament, classic anime suffering moment. The human sandwich suggested undoing the chaos, but our boy considered summoning a female lead from another dimension. Because of course. And that's exactly what he did, pulling out an SSS-level summoning ability like it was nothing. Only the most perfect female character across all dimensions would do. A massive magical circle lit up the floor like an over-the-top stage show. The girl, absolutely terrified, zero clue what the hell was happening. MC demanded the most beautiful, charming woman in the multiverse. No compromise. The magic's brilliance was blinding, literally forcing creatures on the street to squint and reconsider life choices. After the spell unleashed, a thick mist swallowed the hallway. The hamburger human glanced around, horrified. What the hell did that perv just do? Our protagonist broke a cold sweat. Oh, he had done something indeed. Standing before them was a woman fully materialized and jaw-dropping. One hand gripped a bloodstained blade like a casual Tuesday. Beautiful face, threatening gaze, mixing angel vibes with assassin energy. A completely unknown girl had just appeared in the school, looking like she'd survived a murder horror audition. MC was frozen in awe, the human hamburger instantly smitten. She didn't get it either, certain she had just stabbed some Jeremy dude with her own hands. She screamed, standard romance villain introduction, playing the perfect dramatic trope. MC, being a shameless jerk, treated her with casual disrespect. She'd never experienced such audacity, heir to house liberation or not. He immediately cut her off. Sorry, no switching genres mid-story. Do you understand how critical the first 3 chapters of a webtoon are? We're in chapter 3. Backstory now equals endless hallway exposition, zero pacing. Readers hate that. Mic drop. She ignored him and kept rambling. MC internally groaned, irrelevant info alert. until she accused him of being poorly raised for raising his voice, even though they barely knew each other. Classic newbie mistake. MC, not exactly a fantasy romance fan, was trying to figure out where she was from and why her outfit screamed cosplay apocalypse. Because seconds ago she was pretty sure she had lovingly stabbed her husband. Plot twist, yes. With a flick of his fingers, MC made the bloody dagger vanish. Poof. He casually added, "Your clothes too, because why not enforce perfect style in crisis?" The girl looked flawless naturally, thanks protagonist. Unexplainable, muttered both her and the human hamburger, accurate. Human sandwich commentary included, obviously. Silver-haired girl asked who MC even was, but he ignored her, sensing imminent chaos. Using his freshly acquired power, he threw up a protective barrier, blocking a massive attack that could have leveled the school. All this while distracted by arguing with her. Meanwhile, a building-sized creature crept dangerously close. Inside, absolute panic. Silver-haired girl, confused out of her mind, she didn't even know what world she was in anymore. Inside the barrier, our protagonist strolled like he owned the place while the monster flailed, spitting out attacks like a confused toddler with anger issues. Each strike only made the creature madder, classic moron energy. It didn't take long for him to realize this thing was brain-dead, probably missing a few screws upstairs. Perfect chance for a warm-up, time to show off. With the system's guidance, he dialed his strength just right, no accidental city-level destruction this time. Pulling out one of his countless abilities, he prepared an electric sting to end the monster's pathetic tantrum. And boom, revealed just how ludicrously overpowered he was compared to anything that existed in this realm. The girl squad, jaw on the floor, silently screaming. Because honestly, it was insane, unbelievable, and a little ridiculous all at once. But MC didn't care, fun first, world-saving later, simple. Next up, ice magic. The creatures didn't even know what hit them and the girl squad went full-on terrified mode. A low-level spell was enough to freeze them solid, in their tracks, idiots. With the monsters frozen like popsicles, he casually stomped on them like a giant, giving zero shits. The impact shattered ice blocks spectacularly. Bits and pieces of monsters flew across the city like confetti at a grotesque parade. In short order, he eradicated every monster near the school. He did realize he might have gone slightly overboard. Whoops, city collateral. Power dialed down, still catastrophic. The result was insane. Being this powerful genuinely made him grin like a kid with cheat codes. System pinged, first enemy defeated. Achievement unlocked because of course. Just as the screen vanished, more monsters popped up around him. Perfect timing, chaos style. Fusion of fantasy world chaos and awakened hunter vibes. Deliciously ideal. Flight ability activated. MC took to the skies like a demon with a caffeine addiction. He materialized a blade of psionic energy, because normal swords are for plebs. Monsters, he sliced through them like they were paper cutouts. A brutal trail of bodies and flying monster parts left behind, street-level gore show. All while cruising toward the biggest, meanest, yeah, this is a bad day dragon. Even the dragon was weak sauce compared to his power, no respect. He noticed the monsters were spawning from a single portal, problem identified. First idea, step into the portal, wipe out the dungeon, easy mode. But MC, too many absurd abilities. Dimensional banishment activated, why do the work yourself? Creatures got a whiff of his power, immediate terror, movement stopped. Bravo idiots. Nothing they could do, banishment was already in motion. MC was about to erase the portal itself, sending it screaming into an even bigger void. Massive rift appeared in the sky, swallowing the dimensional chaos. Cinematic. Sigh of relief, city safe, at least for a while. Mission outside chaos complete, teleport back to school. Hallway sight, two girls chilling, human hamburger still freaking out. Silver-haired girl noticed his return, proudly reporting she'd been catching up on world lore while he was busy wrecking everything. Somehow she had traveled through time, or at least her perception of it. Wild. Differences between her reality and this one. Massive. MC explained, no actual time travel, don't overthink it. He'd help her adjust with transformation magic, because naturally. First step, change her clothes so the illustrator wouldn't die drawing 0.2-second fight scenes. Efficiency, folks. Glow enveloped her and yes, she was impressed. Magic level, flawless. Her body, human hamburger, lost it entirely. Absolute chaos. Outfit too revealing, she blushed like mad, requested something modest immediately. MC also tied up her hair, visual clarity, check. Other girl, beyond disgusted, never thought I'd meet someone with this horrible taste. Savage. MC, watch your words, I picked comfort, thank you very much. Shorts a bit short, sure, human hamburger begged to keep it, predictable. MC ignored the sandwich's cries. Outfit change complete, pants now in play, justice served. Trying to milk that crazy power for herself, the school bestie asked if he could whip up designer clothes. Our poor boy never saw that coming, classic oh shit, she's extra moment. As they chatted, the silver-haired girl randomly dropped a totally useless detail. Her last name was Libertion anymore, it was Kleshech. Because of course, why not? Yeah, apparently a noble name now since she somehow leveled up into a princess. Damn, this story loves hitting us with cliches. But honestly, our protagonist was completely brain-fried by the sheer gorgeousness of her hair. Seriously, who wrote this? Focus, dude. Sadly, her life had been a dumpster fire, and for all practical purposes, she had basically killed her husband in future hair. No, we're not kidding. And yet, our boy kept whining that he didn't want the backstory. Oh, the classic stubborn protagonist syndrome. He kept muttering that all her words were a hot mess of nonsense. Brutal honesty level 100. Still, he could sense that she'd been dragged through hell and back. Bless this boy for at least a tiny shred of empathy. First time ever showing a hint of compassion toward her. He admitted it outright, he didn't need the gruesome deets. He assumed she was suffering from some terminal disease, which somehow shocked her because that was literally the case. Wow, great detective work, Sherlock. And oh, that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. Her marriage, totally arranged with a dude she never loved. Surprise, surprise. Most likely she'd been backstabbed by a maid or two. Drama galore. Falsely accused of something idiotic, she got framed as the villain of her own life story. Classic. Amidst all that nonsense, an accident happened, because of course it did. With tears brimming, the silver-haired girl spilled the full tragic truth. No sugarcoating, just straight-up misery. Our protagonist understood she'd been through hell, but he figured she didn't need to drag that baggage around here anymore. Smart move, honestly. The girl kept pacing, probably trying to process everything. Meanwhile, our boy reassured her that everything she'd done was pure self-defense. He blessed her body with an S-rank blessing, basically saying, "You did nothing wrong, chill." That brought a weirdly nice tingle to her. Yeah, totally normal reaction to supernatural intervention. Every disease in her body, zapped, gone, she was no longer sick, freaking amazing. Now she could live her life however the hell she wanted in this shiny new world. Freedom tastes good, huh? She'd never even heard anything like that before, not from her uber-powerful father, not her so-called best friend. Not even her disgusting fiancé, yeah, the one who deserved a swift kick. None of them gave her freedom, not a single damn one. And now, out of nowhere, some random guy she just met handed her that gift on a silver platter. As a protagonist stuck in a ridiculous romance plot, she wasn't just grateful, she was totally vibing with the boy. Heart eyes incoming. And our protagonist, he noticed something was off, there was more going on than he realized. That's when the system popped up, giving a monster kill count and unlocking a shiny new achievement. Because of course, game mechanics. A little sign that yep, this story was only just warming up, buckle the hell up. The system announced the boy had caught the attention of the constellations. Fancy cosmic fans incoming. Pleasing them could snag abilities, sponsorships, exclusive loot. Basically everything except a Starbucks gift card. Our boy got buried under a tsunami of system messages. Several constellations were straight up thirsting for him. But he wasn't buying any of it, nope, zero interest. So he told the system to block all those cosmic creepers. Good call, honestly. The system couldn't believe it. Why turn down these golden opportunities, it asked. Like, bro, chill. Our protagonist just shrugged and said he wasn't into that whole deal. Cosmic fame, pass. The system tried to nag him, but our boy straight up ignored it. Big brain energy. He focused fully on the people actually standing there with him. Earthlings, cosmic weirdos. He asked if they were ready to join him in saving the world. Big hero vibes. While that tiny pep talk happened, the Celestial Council of Constellations convened. Oh boy, drama. Entities from another dimension were peeking at Earth like it was a reality show. One of them, fuming, a mere mortal had rejected the favor of a constellation. Wrath mode activated. Another thought it was hilarious, representing games naturally. Meanwhile, the foodie rep figured it was time to school the boy. Then the guy rocking a crown told everyone to chill. King of the constellations in the house, respect. Even though he was technically human, he had survived the Tower of Trials. Props, man. The constellation of despair, unimpressed. Impossible, he's just human, typical. Envy chimed in, whining that the boy had skipped all fours, literally skipped steps, cosmic chaos incoming. They demanded he be dragged to their dimension for inspection. Their mission, figure out if this mortal had what it takes to mess up universal order. No pressure, kid. And if the answer was yes, they'd personally wreck him. Brutal but fair by their standards. Finally, a distrub. Oh wait, no, scratch that. Finally, he actually spread out all the insane power he'd been hoarding like a greedy idiot. Navi's crew could now smash monsters however the hell they wanted, except for the human sandwich, who was having a full-on meltdown. Honestly, the girls were freaking out too. Who wants to punch nightmare creatures when you just rolled out of school? Exactly. Trying to calm their asses down, he told them they were now his companions, protected by some superpowered plot armor that literally cannot die. Estir reassurance, obviously. The schoolgirl piped up saying, dude, you could do all this solo. He just sighed, yeah, and that would be boring as hell. Even if he could wreck everything alone, doing it solo is zero fun. Storytelling 101, teamwork equals better drama. Right then, a creature tried to sneak up from behind. How original. But lol, it didn't even land a finger, blowing itself apart on his barrier like a total chump. The stronger the MC, the more the supporting cast gets to shine. Facts. The schoolgirl still didn't get the memo, while the transmigrated girl seemed to actually catch on. Smart cookie. She asked if killing monsters was really necessary to save this world, a rare moment of sanity. She'd already offed her own husband natural hair to the crown, no less. Yeah, dark past vibes. Now she's like, I can end anything, which left the other companions side-eyeing her hardcore. Yikes. She immediately zeroed in on the first monster that dared approach. To keep things spicy, our protagonist planned to flex every ounce of his power. Step 1, assemble the team. And boom, the transmigrated girl's role got officially assigned by him. No arguments. Fueled by the dark malice simmering in her heart, she unleashed a flurry of attacks. That massive creature, torn to bits like it was yesterday's trash. She got this weird sense of freedom, all murderous grin vibes, dagger assassin energy fully activated. Unhinged, yes, and loving it. The schoolgirl asked why this woman was terrifying, while our protagonist smirked. Perfect, well-defined character check. All of those chaotic feelings, first time the dagger assassin had ever felt them, poor thing. Lost in thought, another monster tried sneaking up on her from behind. Rookie mistake. Tentacles grabbed her like it was a cuddle gone wrong. Danger level max, sandwich guy panicked, other girl realized quick action was necessary. Sandwich didn't hesitate, rushing in to save her. Protagonist cheered him on, calling him the beatdown sandwich. Savage nickname, classic. Another character arc officially in motion, big brain storytelling. His eyes blazed with determination, mostly because he's easily distracted by cute girls. Let's be honest. Bread Boy went full ham, bashing the creature with his doughy body. Beatdown Sandwich hated being reduced to mascot status. Eventually, he straight up complained to the protagonist. Good for him. Bread Boy promised her something cooler if she looked. Dagger Assassin actually grateful, go figure. Using the unique charm only a sandwich could muster, he swore he'd do anything for her. Smooth. Only one person left standing, tension. But the schoolgirl, still terrified, utterly confused why she was even here. To keep the momentum, our protagonist nudged her to try her newfound abilities. But nope, fear said nope. He dropped the usual overpowered MC flex. Time manipulation, check. Personally chosen by God, check. And of course, he lectured her on fixing everything before the world turns into an absolute dumpster fire. Ordinary lives are collapsing, people are on death's doorstep, and yet fun doesn't matter. Wrong. Ignoring all logic, our protagonist declared that fun is literally the foundation of existence. Deal with it, move forward. One day she'd finally get it, the truth behind his ridiculous words. In this world, fun isn't optional, it's survival. Totally chaotic, yes, but rules are rules. That's when she noticed the whole vibe had shifted. Big energy change. Until the boy whispered, look behind you. Apparently her monster was making a fast approach. He suggested she beat it using the magic she just got. Easy advice from the overpowered bro. Clueless, she squinted at her staff and closed her eyes. Step 1, panic. Then genius move, she decided to swing it like a baseball bat. Absolute mood. Smacked the creature like it owed her money, nailed it. Witnesses slightly impressed, not bad for a newbie. Her attack turned the monster into goo. She was disgusted because she's a strong warrior. Sandwich mascot got into a baseball stance. Girl admitted she used to play back in the day. Protagonist didn't see that character twist coming. And that's when he felt a presence behind him. Oh boy. Time to get serious, because messing around won't cut it anymore. That power, yeah, there's no way a random monster cooked this up, stop pretending. Then out of nowhere, some dude pops up, all impressed that our boy actually dared to tinker with his raw power. And he did it straight up with his bare hands, no cheat codes, no wimpy magic. That's when it hits him, oh crap, this can only mean one insane thing. Sure, the mysterious guy is hyped that someone strong even exists here, big whoop. But our protagonist, he's buzzing with excitement like he just found a rare Pokémon, even though the scene screams you're screwed. The guy didn't expect the kid to recognize him, and our boy drops the I'm your number one fan bomb. Never saw it coming, did he, huh? Cue the girl poking him like, dude, what the hell is going on, who's this creep? And naturally, our hero breaks the fourth wall like it's casual, telling us to check out some story called Chayama. Classic fanboy move. Its lead, a grand martial arts master. And yeah, he's the villain extraordinaire, basically the final boss you don't want to fight before lunch. The mysterious man rolls his eyes, says our kid babbles too much, and asks if that ridiculous energy from the east is his. Which makes our protagonist recall that finger flick he did. Yep, the shockwave really went that way. Damn nice aim, idiot. And of course he owns it, yup, guilty as charged. 1,000 demons who humanity had basically benched for evolution, weaklings. Even the mysterious dude's bored of a world full of uninteresting, bland-ass humans. But on this insane day, reality itself seems to get a rewrite. No, seriously, someone hit Ctrl+Z. Monsters start popping up like bad TikTok trends everywhere. 1,000 demons see him and think, jackpot, finally some fun. Enjoying that sweet chaos vibe, because nothing screams joy like pure destruction. He's about to dive headfirst into the chaos high, full surrender, baby. Then bam, a blinding, powerful energy comes barreling at him. Not like any cheap-ass monster energy we've seen. This thing actually makes him go, oh shit, I need max shields. The power smashes through like a runaway freight train. But 1,000 demons, totally fine, lucky bastards. Even with his defenses up, everything around him is obliterated, and that's just round one. Looking back, he sees something even wilder. The world is literally rewinding, like someone hit undo on steroids. Everything destroyed is snapping back like nothing happened. He's certain this move is signature, utterly supreme master tier, no doubts. Instinct screaming, he bolts toward the source, oceans be damned. And of course he gets there, protagonist-style entrance unlocked. Turns out he only sat through the backstory because martial arts nerd vibes. The romance arc skipped faster than a bad Netflix trailer, no judgment, same energy. Girl tries to throw logic at him, how's someone in China speaking Korean, and he just tells her to chill because obviously this story doesn't do common sense. Moron. Meanwhile, 1,000 demons finally spots the unknown master and decides, yeah, let's off the kid. Hoping for a fun match, but the boy, still starstruck like he just met his favorite YouTuber. 1,000 demons is hyped for a deadly duel, classic villain energy. Protagonist's team is left standing there like, oh, what the hell is happening? Classic confused sidekick vibes. Martial warrior lines up a signature attack, sending the full-blown celestial demonic dragon palm at our boy. Absolute destruction incoming. Explosion obliterates a huge chunk of the area. Oops. But our hero dodges it like it's a slow-ass street obstacle. Typical MC flex. Cue shocked mysterious man, jaw on the floor. Didn't see that coming, huh? Boy smugly says he always wanted to do that, sneaks behind and mocks the attack like a savage. Gains power from awakening, but instead of fighting, he's busy wondering how the guy got so ripped. Classic distraction-level idiot energy. 1,000 demons, apparently polite, bows out mid-scene. Lost interest in the fight. He'd rather chase Earth's monsters than deal with this nonsense. Walking away, admits this fight was a massive waste of time. Mascot even hints, bro, you're running because your moves suck. Yet he still claims this place has no future, savage. That's when our boy decides to actually act serious, gently gripping the mysterious man's shoulder like, time to get real, buddy. He's like, yo, you're crossing some serious lines, buddy. And yeah, maybe try some damn respect when talking about this land, genius. Feeling the heat of the protagonist's threat level, 1,000 demons backpedal like they just saw a ghost. But holy crap, Shock City, he wasn't supposed to get this close without triggering alarms, freaking impossible. Determined to crush this possible threat, 1,000 demons toss out a lethal attack aimed straight at our boy. Our hero watches it like it's some cheap-ass 4th of July fireworks display. Chill, kid. Stones flying from that energy are practically landing in his lap, and he casually snatches the biggest one like he's picking up candy. Boom, massive explosion erupts, soaked in a dark aura that screams I'm a serious threat. Meanwhile, the ridiculously drawn, well-fed girls clutch their chests, worried he might get splattered. That demonic arts crap, consuming space itself like reality's having a bad day. And our boy pops out of that mess grinning like he just ran a spa, says it was oddly refreshing, savage. Leaves the 1,000 demons speechless and our hero throws in, yeah, I'm a pain in the ass but still epic. Can't argue he's fangirling hard, asks his idol to ride shotgun on this wild adventure. Completely anticlimactic proposal, really bro. Because the 1,000 demons is still mid-meltdown over the fact that his centuries of perfect technique got dunked. Furious, he declares himself the strongest under heaven and vows never to lose to some brat. Our protagonist hears that and yeah, feels a little offended, classic. And naturally, he cooks up a fun little plan to mess with him. Raises a hand, channels his power and bam, 1,000 demons attention locked in. Because normal life, over, MC is now hitting peak transmogrification mode. That familiar oh no, not again vibe hits the human hamburger. The man in front starts getting wrapped in green mist, looking like a bad cosplay gone wrong. He's uneasy, sensing cheap trickery afoot. Cute, he's catching on slowly. Until Miss Ka's voice flips, my friend, nope, it's way more than just the voice that changed. A jaw-drop moment, the team is speechless. Our hero declares, not strongest man under heaven anymore now, strongest woman under heaven. Boom, mind blown. The once-man dude, utterly confused, like where did my life go? Girlfriends are pissed, the muscle warrior is disgusted, and our MC, trying to explain like it's totally normal. Claims that changing a character's gender for laughs is creative storytelling. Apparently, that trend got lost somewhere in 2023. Warrior tries to launch a line, gets cut off immediately. 3 sentences max, pal, learn the rules. Until he gets blindsided, the dude who used to be a man wants back in his original body. Classic midlife crisis energy. But MC just flicks him on the head. Resistance, not today, buddy. It's been a while since you got smacked, and guess what? You'll get smacked again if you keep acting up. Team is shocked at this level of excessive violence on a woman, while Hamburger Man internally screams, "Return me to normal." After School of Pain completed, MC declares the team mission complete. Chayama, the now woman who was a man, wants to revert, but not happening, not on his watch. Our protagonist ignores protests, tells companions to hunt the nearby monsters. Delegation 101. He'll leave the grunt work to them while he teleports elsewhere. Classic protagonist flex. Because obviously his solo mission is way more important, saving the entire freaking world. No pressure. Leaves behind a brand new squad who barely know each other and trust nothing. Good luck, losers. Meanwhile, the US government is trying to figure out how to deal with literal monster apocalypse. Spoiler, not well. The president is mid-meeting with top officials, probably wishing he'd stayed in bed. Decision-making time, no stress, right, wrong. The signal man can only think nukes. Yeah, real bright buddy, attacking your own country, genius move. Secretary of Defense sucks it up because disagreement isn't in the mood. Even if they unleash everything they've got, brace for cringe. From old-school firepower with projectiles and gunpowder, to ballistic missiles, fancy jets, and chemical weapons straight out of a sci-fi manual. As long as that spatial rift stays open, monster numbers won't drop. Congrats, problem not solved. President finally loses it, realizes 0 options left. Rage mode engaged. Wishes he could just blow up the rifts, and then, bam, MC pops into the meeting room like, relax, I got this. Since literally nothing shocks anyone in this world anymore, the president skips the awkward intros and just asks, who the hell is this kid? Our hero casually drops, pervert of Korea, 17 years old and future savior of the world. Boom, confidence 100%. Cue the grand conference room, awkward silence, long enough to question life choices. Security flips instantly, who's this stranger? Meanwhile, MC casually throws out, I've got a proposal. But the guard's still screaming, I'll shoot, and our boy deadpan, someone's gonna get hurt, maybe you, savage. Secretary of Defense peeps his sudden arrival, could be a monster, they should act fast. President, chill, just chill. But tension explodes, one guard can't wait and fires. Keeps blasting until his weapon's basically empty. Yet the guy still can't process what he's seeing. Eyes meet reality, this kid's insane. Yup, a 1999 classic movie scene is being recreated right before their eyes. Nostalgia, but make it deadly. Our boy conjures a bullet-stopping barrier like it's Casual Tuesday. Reality bent, physics gone. And he's loving every second of it, pure, unadulterated fun. Bullets clink to the floor, he asks the president if he finally gets it, because if he does, full trust is now mandatory. With everyone's attention secured, he casually orders all nuclear weapons to launch. Big brain move. President knows that's extreme, can't just go full apocalypse without legit reasoning. Forget negotiation, MC unleashes mass manipulation like rules, never heard of them. Every person in the room now under his influence. Congratulations, minions. Even the ordinary men are basically mindless servants now, 0 chill. One of them reaches for the desk phone, classic bureaucrat move. President takes control, punches in codes, and boom, Neo-Duzit protocol activated. Every nuclear weapon is officially greenlit. Order spreads down the chain like wildfire. Those tasked with this nightmare absolutely horrified, yeah, that's terrifying. No choice, no negotiation, just follow orders or face death. Fun day at work. First nuke launches from some hidden submarine, because plot convenience. Weapons streak through the sky, count, who even knows, chaos energy. MC calculates anyway, roughly 8,000 nukes are airborne, accurate to a T-genius. Confident this will handle the mess thanks to his invisible hand ability, extra flex. Giant magical human hand materializes, like why not? He duplicates it firsthand, meh, let's have another. Hands go after flying missiles like Pac-Man on steroids. Each hand-style command, grab everything, let nothing escape. Slowly they're all being snatched midair, nice work kid. Next order, toss these weapons straight into the portal, boom. Missiles adjust trajectory instantly because physics is now optional. Every missile finds its specific portal target, accuracy ridiculous. MC already tastes victory, genius level play, 0 chill. Meanwhile in Moscow, top-tier big shots gather, oh the plot thickens. Russia realizes US nukes are airborne, advisors screaming retaliate, drama classic. MC appears again, nope don't bother, mic drop. Guards fire immediately, why ask questions when you can shoot, idiot logic. Boy recreates that iconic 1999 movie scene again. Bulletproof style, legendary. Everyone freaks this should be physically impossible, but yes, it's happening. Back in US command, portals vanish, someone call a nerd. MC shows up, takes credit, thanks authorities for trusting him enough to go full nuke mode. President finally connects the dots. Panic, MC reassures explosions happen inside portals, no collateral, chill. Officials suddenly celebrating, the Korean hero saves the day. Surprise, surprise. As he pieces out, tells them monsters are still loose. Clean up duty, suckers. Disappears faster than your Wi-Fi during a storm. Back to our main scene. Homeland Squad still grinding, hunting all those escaped creatures. Classic post-boss cleanup arc. The second he lands, our hero gives the team a nod. You guys are crushing it, smooth flex. Only the dagger assassin actually welcomes him, warm hugs and all. The warrior, nearly died like 5 times, still salty, obvious why she's mad. The human sandwich pipes up, yo, did a missile explode in the rift, was that you? MC chill, confirms with a grin. Boy's still deep in teen brain mode, realizing someone needs to play tank on this squad. Classic MC overthinking. Lost in his own genius thoughts, he doesn't even notice a green energy pillar creeping up behind him. Rookie move. That thing blindingly bright, like, don't look at me or you're fried level intense. A freaking constellation shows up inspecting him saying, dude, you shook the universe. Okay, chill. And that woman, Justice Incarnate, has descended to judge him. Yeah, he wasn't ready for a universe-level wife. Even his team frozen at the sight of her pure suffering glare, bad vibes all around. But she's armored and sword-ready, jackpot. MC just found his tank, savage. Team can literally feel her raw power. MC being polite-ish says, chill, don't do anything yet. He dives into the system to ask a few questions, obsessed with knowing things. Classic nerd energy. Wants the scoop on what the system told constellations. System reminds him he blocked those entities, oops. And boom, he remembers, yeah, he really did that, genius-level chaos. Approaches mysterious woman, big misunderstanding, didn't mean offense, just busy saving Earth. Smooth excuse. Woman, exactly the problem, humanity hasn't sacrificed enough. Oof, guilt trip level 1000. All because of him, EXE has stopped responding. He's stunned, deeply, ridiculously stunned. Starts questioning if portals and innocent deaths are her doing. Plot twist energy. Was it all the constellations' work? Short answer, yes. No sugarcoating, she confirms. Long lecture about history and science inbound, brace yourself. Every living being generates energy. Constellations consume it to survive, they call it nogentropy. Yeah, sounds fancy. Created this farm system, the smarter the species, the more energy. Evil AF. To level up, constellations throw challenges at species. Harsh training montage vibes. Some survive, become stronger, give more energy. Others wiped out completely, raw material, harsh reality. An MC single-handedly stops humanity from leveling up, peak brat energy. The constellations wanted to spy on him, but he blocked them. Cue universal panic. So yeah, they had to judge him in person, awkward. All of this sounds utterly ridiculous to our boy. I roll level 9000. A complete nonsense lecture, he can't believe he wasted time, storytime fail. Author just shoved random sci-fi in here. Boom, explanation over. He tells Hamburger Man, summarize it in 3 lines or you're dead to me. For page skippers, yes, fourth wall break incoming. Entities feed on humanity, they make trials to grow stronger, MC stopped it, back to the main plot, done. Clearly these entities are insane beings, duh. Dagger assassin, I can't forgive that, Trap stops her, nope, not your level. MC chill, intervene, not an option, reality check. Our boy starts invoking the void itself, power-up mode engaged. Morphs the void into a sword, epic flex. Ready to duel the woman who just crashed the party. Making it clear he doesn't like constellations, strong opinion. Swings a slash that dwarfs any previous attacks, power level ludicrous. Woman assumes defensive stance, thinks she can handle it, cute. She blocks it effortlessly with one sword swing, cool, calm, broken AF. Boy is contemplative, he just tried to erase existence itself and it did nothing. Brutal lesson. Attack blocked like it was a fly buzzing by. Woman turns to the MC, you no match for me, savage truth. MC doesn't even buy it, classic MC ego. Time to unleash Yamleash, a planet-destroying, transcendent-level move, no chill. The glow from his attack lit up the woman's face like a damn spotlight. But of course her bangs stayed stubbornly in place, no peeking behind the curtain to see if she actually has 2 eyes. Classic anime trolling. The beam shot into space, leaving a blazing trail like a freaking cosmic laser show. Woman untouched, and she even complimented the sheer force of the strike, savage props. MC starts sweating, trying to combo his powers like he's playing some cosmic video game. Opponent sighing in disappointment like, really, this is what we're doing. He declares an intense action scene is about to unfold, completely missing that one hand had vanished. Rookie. The culprit, her sword, and she's not even asking for ransom, straight up theft. Everyone is stunned. She tells him to accept her judgment. Pain level real. And it hurts. MC isn't used to this kind of actual damage. But of course he isn't quitting. Time rewind activated. Boy will not die on screen. Rewinds over and over, fully restoring the lost hand like it's a cheat code. He's ready to grind time until victory, but plot twist, something's off. Turns out she's immune to that kind of manipulation. Sucks to be him. He also has to stop his own team from attacking her. Yeah, chaos squared, dangerous times. MC is internally screaming, what the hell is the author even thinking? I can't do jack against her. She's losing patience fast, accept your judgment now. He asks the obvious, wait, what the hell is this about? She sheathes her sword and summons another object, cosmic suspense. Reveals a golden scale, sparkly, ominous, and heavy with plot. That, my friends, is the scale of justice, big reveal energy. Woman explains, certain values go on each side, universe itself weighs them, high stakes cosmic balance. MC totally uninterested, face says, explanations no thanks, Constellation gets it. So she decides to show him hands-on, science experiment, universe edition. Benefits of his existence versus dangers he brings, both going on the scale, drama baby. Problem, MC didn't pay attention, has no idea which side is which, classic. Doesn't matter, weights are set, result is in, drama delivered. Verdict, MC equals massive threat to the universe, oh snap. And the scale's decision equals ultimate truth. Constellation, time to suppress you, kid. Boy's speechless, tiny panic. Until he throws on that signature confident grin, oh no. If a scale can judge any problem humanity faces, I want one solved. Savage audacity. From a cosmic lens, human problems equals trivial, and she's Renee, constellation of justice. Universe meet chaos. MC's confidence skyrockets. Oh yeah, I trust this scale now. She can't say no, asks what values he wants weighed. Oh, trouble incoming. Team starts sweating bullets. MC reassures, relax, this is gonna be fun. Classic villain energy. Cosmic scale balance game, hell yes. He knows exactly what to ask her. A +99 reinforced wooden stick, because why not, plot twist energy. Entity speechless, didn't see that coming, big oof. Team completely lost, unanimous facepalm. Even mentally steal hamburger dude, brain fried, can't even. Truly idiotic question, legendary trolling. Scale of justice, still processing, poor thing. MC presses on, what's more fun, superpowered stick or Korea's top necromancer? He's talking solo leveling, of course. Girls in his squad, no clue about solo leveling, MC shocked. How are you alive without this knowledge? Asks warrior girl to sell her brain, brutal but honestly fair. Remembers he could erase his own memories anyway, flex. Hamburger dude pleads with the constellation. Ignore this obsession with webtoons, please, rookie logic. She replies, cosmic scale can't judge trivial human stuff like emotions. Boom, dream crushed. Staring down this dumbass limitation, our hero scoffed and said the constellation didn't have a clue about this world. Seriously, nothing here matters more than having a good time. He realized he could totally mess with her brain a little, make her just slightly dumber, honestly, why not? And just like that, the previously deadly and hostile scene had been flipped on its head, completely changed, no joke. The guy asked her to confirm if she was really out here maintaining universal order. And yep, the so-called constellation of justice nodded like a good little cosmic pawn. Any screw-up in reality could literally tear everything apart, like end-of-world levels of bad. That's when he got it by her twisted logic. He was basically the sacrificial lamb to prevent total annihilation. Great, thanks for that. The constellation tried to downplay it, acting like it was NBD, while our boy realized she was just itching to throw some poor souls under the cosmic bus for the greater good. And let's be real, talking about universal order from a cosmic POV is hilariously biased. To her it made sense, to humans absolutely freaking unjust, classic. She realized she'd been cornered by some soft, whiny mortal claiming he outranked the universe itself. Yeah, good luck with that. But he told her to let the scales speak. Was his cosmic sacrifice fair or just a brutal scam? They had to actually measure this nonsense on the scale of justice. The constellation reluctantly obeyed. The scales were balanced perfectly, miracles happen. Until suddenly one side went hell no and got way heavier. The warrior girl panicked, clueless, until the protagonist casually said, yeah, the answer's obvious, genius. Still holding the damn scale, the constellation of justice went completely mute. Classic silent treatment. Our hero asked straight up if she really planned to restrain someone tagged as a universal threat. Her, the supposed symbol of justice. The Wundan admitted he was right, finally recognizing the ridiculous injustice. Took you long enough. Seeing she wasn't going to attack anymore, the dagger assassin complimented him on his brains, while the ultra girls were still utterly clueless. Surprise, surprise. He made her see the truth. Justice is all about perspective. Bite that universe. The constellation looked lost in thought, so the boy offered a suggestion. If she was worried about him causing chaos, she could literally just stalk him, stay by his side. Creepy, maybe effective, absolutely. He didn't want trouble. He was pissed the cosmic pests were attacking humans. Superior beings should actually help, not wreak havoc. Duh. The constellation admitted it was a fair point and promised she'd stick with him. Finally, some sense. Watching all this go down, the trap was in awe. Cosmic beings getting schooled by a mortal. And he had one last question. What the hell did the constellations do to Earth by opening those portals anyway? She froze, silent, shocked, or maybe she already knew the answer. Either way, it was one of those moments, dead silence. The scale's outcome was painfully predictable after all that talking. No surprises here. Our hero couldn't hide his smug satisfaction, big brain moves. The constellation of justice, meanwhile, looked like someone had kicked her in the feelings. She sighed deeply and the protagonist's worry meter spiked. Without warning, she shot up to the heavens like she had some urgent business to settle, swift and merciless. Her flight fast, short, and dramatic, already above Earth and space before anyone could blink. She unleashed her full powers, starting a total Earth cleanse. Don't mind me just saving your planet. Creatures still roamed, terrorizing humans like they owned the place. Not for long. It didn't take long for her celestial wrath to reach them. Bye, losers. Humanity, battered and hopeless, got a front row miracle, finally. The monsters that once made everyone wet their pants were devoured by mysterious energy. Nice, huh? This unexplainable event spread like wildfire across the globe. Every last creature not meant to be here was obliterated, not even a crumb left. And all thanks to the constellation of justice flexing her insane powers. She purified Earth like a boss, no mercy. The light in the sky, blinding, like staring directly into hope itself. And yeah, it kind of screamed hope too. Cosmic drama 100%. The trap noticed that all demonic energy on Earth had vanished. Clean slate. When she reappeared, our protagonist praised her handiwork. Constellations are ridiculously op, don't argue. She felt manipulated, but he shrugged it off like, nah, you're imagining things. Classic gaslighting, but hey, it worked. Protecting Earth suddenly became a walk in the park, and oh yeah, there was one heck of a bonus too. Our hero now had a companion who was not just insanely powerful, but also ridiculously reliable. Talk about leveling up. And damn, her beauty hit everyone like a ton of bricks, no exceptions, all jaws on the floor. She ditched her armor, causing an instant commotion, but the constellation shrugged and said she didn't need it anymore. Combat over, no capes required. Our protagonist couldn't even handle looking at her like that, so he slapped on his transformation ability like a responsible adult, swapping her into traditional Earth clothes, because apparently some modesty is required. And once again he realized, yeah, she was a total knockout, no debate. She didn't see the point of wearing anything that didn't protect her, and naturally started peeling it off, driving our hero straight into despair. He laid down the law, you stay dressed no matter what, deal with it. Justice is weird, okay, that's a human concept even she struggles to get. Even the system chimed in, saying something had to be addressed. Finally, some backup. The other constellations flipped out, convinced he had tricked the constellation of justice. Cute. That just made him angrier. Humans were being treated like pawns and he wasn't having it. He decided to crush those cosmic assholes. Before he could flex, the system told him the master of the Tower of Trials wanted a personal audience. Oh joy, more pain incoming. The constellation of justice added that everyone was pointing fingers at the Tower Master for handing out insane powers without a shred of accountability. Yeah, blame the admin. The system promised to guide our hero to the dimension of eternal night. Spooky. Agreeing, the boy said he'd share a few thoughts before heading in, because of course he would. The system shot back immediate transport and he wasn't ready. Classic get ambushed style. He complained about leaving his freshly minted squad behind. No way he was going solo. The trap wasn't interested, the sandwich guy just wanted normal life back, and the dagger assassin was lost, clueless as always. That's when the protagonist quietly instructed the system to teleport everyone down together. Smooth operator. Whispering like a ninja, he told the system to hurry and follow orders. System confirmed everyone was going, warrior girl freaking out hardcore. A massive pillar of light shot down from the sky, engulfing them all. Movie-level visuals. Blink and the street was empty, poof, gone. Mortals felt every jolt of that wild teleportation, while the constellation of justice slid through like it was a Sunday stroll. Until finally it ended, and everyone was alive somehow. They arrived in a completely alien dimension, skies littered with moons. Moody, mysterious, perfect. His friends, totally nudged, totally lost. Where the hell are we, was the mood. Looking around, the boy assumed this must be the tower's final floor. Then a mysterious voice spoke, welcoming the constellation of justice, Fancy. Apparently, having her there was a big freaking deal. The mysterious figure revealed himself, Tsukoshi Nujo, Tower Master, here to welcome the constellation. And yes, he was thrilled. He did not care about the companions she dragged along. Nope. Inferior beings were strictly forbidden here, thank you very much. Showing off an abomination-level body, he flexed his power and threatened to annihilate the humans. Oh, the drama. The warrior girl panicked, and the human sandwich dude had one last request. He wanted to eat a sandwich before dying. Classic moron move. Meanwhile, the protagonist smiled like a maniac, thinking, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. First full team dungeon boss battle, baby. Tower Master standing there radiating pure menace. Our hero soaked it all in, mentally readying himself. Expectation meter maxed, this was gonna be fun, seriously. The team, terrified, couldn't even process facing that abomination. Until our hero reassured them work together they just might survive. Optimism level peak. Then the Tower Master grabbed him like a ragdoll and demanded to know how he dared skip all the floors. Yeah, buddy, that's a flex. Protagonist, not amused, just got wrecked by the constellation of justice and he wasn't keen on another beatdown. Slammed into the ground by the Tower Master, he listened as the guy ranted about being insulted one too many times. And now apparently the real problem would be explained. Fantastic. Spoiler, the boy was ignorant, arrogant, sly, stubborn, and egocentric. Yep, check. Plus irresponsible and vulgar, his body aching while he barely wanted to hear any of this explanation. Total mood. Until the Tower Master said that, above all this nonsense. The boy was pure selfishness incarnate, and he said it while getting clocked by one of the Tower Master's hands. Brutal. The energy smashed through him so hard he screamed like a banshee. Damn, that's gotta hurt. Tower Master grinned, saying he'd make the boy feel every ounce of pain he deserved from climbing the tower. Payback time, no mercy. Meanwhile, the protagonist's team freaked out, watching in pure horror. Classic oh crap, we're doomed energy. Holding the boy's battered body, the dungeon boss offered a fake apology to the other beings. But yeah, they'd still die, no exceptions. Then a mysterious voice dropped the ultimate mic. Only one person dies here and it's going to be the dungeon boss himself. Boom, plot twist. From the shadows, the beloved trap emerged, shocking the Tower Master with a brutal surprise attack. Savage. Smack right to the Tower Master's face, and yeah, it left a mark. Didn't matter, the boss shrugged, admitting, yeah, this is totally unfair. Crimea River, asshole. Magic prison activated immediately, and the trap screamed like the idiot it wasn't supposed to be. Pain levels maxed. Tower Master praised their resilience, claiming even without transcendent power they endured. Too bad he blamed the boy for their fate. Thanks, jerk. With the duo trapped, Tower Master apologized to the constellation of justice, claiming he didn't want her seeing this ugly side. Oh, how noble. She asked if this was really the proper way to treat a human who'd already surpassed his tower rules. Savage clapback incoming. Dungeon boss admitted he served the constellations too. Yep, another cosmic yes man. And since he also served the constellation of Wrath, he was just doing his duty. Sure, duty right. That's when the protagonist realized some constellation had a serious, shady interest in him. Not exactly the friendly type. With that lame explanation, the constellation of justice found it slightly plausible. Fine, whatever. Everyone else thinking the same thing, this guy's toast. Absolutely screwed. Yeah, he's totally gonna die here, no cap. Until someone piped up, not happening, wait what? Enter the protagonist, glowing blue and tired of taking beatings. Classic power-up scene. Tower Master, shocked, literally couldn't believe his eyes. He wanted to know how some inferior mortal could resist his authority. Haha, good luck, Grandpa. Our boy casually remembered the words used to describe him. Admiring and arrogant, fancy names, zero impact. In stories like this, the protagonist naturally counterattacks after getting smacked. It's literally textbook. But first, he freed his companion. Can't let the sidekick rot, duh. She had no clue what happened either, and he told her not to forget that near-death rush. Survival lesson 101. Because if she actually remembers dying at his hands, guess what? She won't die. Genius strategy. Especially if she reads that little warning written in red. Dramatic yes, effective hell yes. Constellation of Justice, totally impressed. A mere human is casually facing the Tower Master without flinching, damn. The creature admitted it had underestimated him, but yeah, still claimed he was wrong on one thing. Sure, keep whining. The companions, still in danger, classic don't mess this up moment. Placing his friends in harm's way while blocking strikes, he called the Tower Master cunning. Tactical clapback. Now the entity, terrified, trying to figure out how this puny human suddenly gained a power boost in the thousands. Oops. It was time for the protagonist to flex, born for this moment, peak MC energy. revealing he'd only used 1/millionth of his true power, casually reminding everyone of how insane that is. Don't forget. Yeah, he'd intentionally held back while destroying that creature earlier. Smart but crazy. The protagonist, absolutely a madman, unapologetically reckless. He'd gotten so carried away with this power, he'd done a few reckless, over-the-top stunts. Classic. That's why he slapped a major limiter on his actual strength. Safety first, kind of. But here in this alien dimension, no restrictions. Unlimited chaos mode activated. The human sandwich guy, frozen in terror, questioning all his life choices. Our boy warned, this enemy's absurdly strong, his team can't even chip in. Too dangerous. Using one of his countless abilities, he fired attacks at the Tower Master, piercing him like paper. Yeah, paper. The pain spread through the flesh and the entity realized this shouldn't even be possible. Reality check failed. The protagonist said the Tower Master's stubborn streak ends here. Bye, asshole. Tower Master turned to the constellation of justice, shocked. Wait, his power comes from me, it can't exceed the source itself. Classic existential freakout. About to beg for help, smacked again by the irresponsible one himself. Serves you right. After all, an entity millions of years old should clean up its own mess. No help needed. Rookie mistake. Meanwhile, our boy reflected on his own words as the ancient entity writhed in agony, having lost a hand in the process. Brutal, no mercy. Claiming he couldn't vanish because doing so would plunge the entire dimension into utter chaos. Dramatic much. Threatening the very fabric of the universe itself. Yep, big words stirred the constellation of justice just fine. But she was still rattled when our protagonist sliced the Tower Master clean in half. Ouch, talk about overkill. Inflicting celestial-level pain on the poor sap, no chill. Final words, you'll regret this. Sure, keep talking, buddy, nobody's taking you seriously. And then, like a dust storm, the Tower Master's remains just vanished. Poof, bye, asshole. Constellation of Justice realized she hadn't even seen the strike land. Worse, a human had just smacked down a cosmic entity. Mind equals blown. Our hero apologized to his team, acknowledging they were probably losing their minds. Some wanted Earth, some wanted their normal forms. Classic priorities. While chatting, he noticed something else. Oh. Igor, being his usual egocentric self, said something even dumber right after beating the creature. Smooth move, genius. That regret would haunt him forever. Team facepalmed, yeah, disappointment all around. Until boom, he came face to face with the system screen again. Hello, new chapter. For defeating the Tower Master, his ascension had kicked off. Stage 1 baby, welcome to leveling up. Boy assumed this was some combat benefit and immediately started plotting how many stages there were. Curiosity level, peak. Constellation of Justice asked if he knew he'd just become the enemy of all other constellations. Casual existential crisis. He replied with a question, I had no choice, otherwise I'd be dead, did you really want that, huh? Mic drop. Then he added, not all constellations hate him, he'd earned a powerful ally. Confidence on 10. She replied, I never said that. Brutal human logic check. Remembering Tower Master's words, he requested a trip to the constellation of Wrath. Justice asked if he planned to fight her. Madness, pure insanity. Boy shrugged, dialogue first, maybe we can sort it out. Talk it out, he said. Justice looked pleased, the warrior thinking he's a total idiot. Classic. Human sandwich dude, already praising the protagonist and suggesting a return to Earth for eternal partying. Priorities, bro. Before anyone could say a word, a golden magic circle appeared under their feet. Big whoa moment. Team being sent to another dimension, once again, buckle up. Transport was harsh as usual, but our protagonist, full power mode, felt nothing luxury. They arrived at the domain of the constellation of Wrath. Cue dramatic reveal. First impression, totally lost. Constellation of Justice began giving the scenic tour. This was Hujikaruna's domain, a place that screamed danger. Volcano vibes everywhere, scorching heat. Hamburger dude's cheese melting like his willpower. Warrior girl still confused why they were being dragged around, typical. Protagonist claimed having friends nearby made him stronger. Sure, ego boost much, hard to buy coming from him. Dagger assassin, no defenses against that phrasing, believed every single word. Ooh, naivety alert. Then a sinister laugh filled the air just to spice things up. Cue ominous vibes. Sensing danger, Constellation of Justice readied sword and shield. Hero moment incoming. Constellation of Wrath appeared, scolding her for bringing insects into his lair. Rude. Overwhelming force hit them, causing utter destruction. Casual Tuesday for him. Wrath looked like a middle-aged man in armor, calling Justice a fool while swinging with insane power. Ouch. For the first time, Justice had to truly block a strike. Yep, this guy was no joke. After some casual insults about the long time since they last met, Wrath got a punch straight to the face. Surprise, asshole. Enraged protagonist couldn't tolerate anyone messing with his friends. Instant counter, savage. Scale of absurdity off the charts, team constantly in shock, brain equals broken. Constellation of Justice reminded him, dialogue first, remember, oh right, that tiny rule. Protagonist, waiting for his first chance at violence. He hurled Raph into a wall like a ragdoll, boom. At full power, he wasn't sweating any Constellation challenge. Level unbothered. Justice worried asked what he had done. Boy claimed, saving you. Hero energy, obviously. He admitted Karuna can't control impulses, violence solves everything, no chill. This dimension was assigned beautifully at first glance. Gorgeous scenery, chill vibes. So breathtaking it could make anyone sigh in awe. Yes, it was that nice. But that man, absolutely incapable of self-control, disaster waiting to happen. Discovering the planet so late in life triggered fury. Q rage mode activated. Unleashing his rage in what used to be a gorgeous spot. Damn, someone call a landscaper because this place is toast. The planet, once an oasis, now looked lucky just to still be breathing. Seriously, it's hanging by a thread. After flattening everything in sight, the dude got even angrier. Classic, predictable moron energy. Finally realizing what a hot mess this guy was, our protagonist muttered, yep, he's a total idiot. And Raph's constellation, oh, it went full nuclear. An insect dared graze his face. What a fragile bastard. The sheer force in his hands was so ridiculous it liquefied the stones beneath them. Not subtle at all. That's when Justice's constellation had a reality check. They were royally screwed. The fire dimension had fused with this man. If he blew his top, the volcano they were standing in would go kaboom with him. Textbook disaster waiting to happen. And the lava wasn't just hot, it was some next-level deadly crap. Our boy knew one misstep could end him. With steely resolve, he tried to chill the dude using an ability hitting absolute zero. Ambitious much. Ice wrapped around the constellation's entire body like a frosty straitjacket. But of course, the guy shattered it like it was paper. Hello, unstoppable rage. Justice sighed, stating Korna was pure rage incarnate. They were doomed. But our protagonist, he was just tired of the endless babble. Back in the fight, he synced his strike with the guys hand to hand. Tight coordination, finally some brains. This constellation was leagues ahead, completely outclassing even the Tower Master. No cap, that's some next-tier flex. Raph admitted he loved the cold sensation. It was new, unfamiliar, and now he was pissed about it. Savage irony. Our protagonist struggled to get what he was saying, so he threw out some empathy vibes. Directed straight at the living embodiment of rage. Yeah, good luck with that. Slowly, the man's mind started shifting inch by inch. Don't get your hopes up. Justice warned it might backfire, but he insisted he was calming him while syncing their emotions. Sure, buddy. The Wrath incarnation admitted no one had ever entered his head. It felt good, yet also made him even more unstable. Classic, I like it, but I'm doomed energy. Watching the chaos, Justice predicted our protagonist would get eaten alive by fury, but shocker, it didn't quite work. Still, the constellation looked like a zombie. Yep, definitely something went off the rails. He apologized for ghosting and throwing the first punch, hoping a civilized chat could fix things. Adorable, really. The dialogue already incoming in the form of a fist. Yeah, that's civilized. Meanwhile, Wrath's constellation whined that failure just wouldn't shut up. Somebody grab earplugs. Our boy blocked the hit, but damn, being called a failure stung. Sensitive much. After grabbing him by the neck, the Wrath dude ranted that his negentropy was trash and humanity deserved annihilation, blaming our boy for screwing everything up. Classic overreaction. Justice finally jumped in, asking if Earth really had extermination gates. The furious man confirmed, yep, stakes just went nuclear. Barely able to cope with the verbal vomit, our protagonist looked straight up annoyed by all the talking. Same. He finally hit the first stage of his ascension, about damn time. A wild surge of energy shot at the man, catching him off guard. Surprise attack check. The planet annihilating strike, oh, it was devastatingly effective. Not bad, kid. Cosmic order constellations, they could all go screw themselves, not today. He had officially decided to be the ultimate webtoon protagonist. Peak energy. The guy who couldn't control his own fury, now floating through space like a lost balloon, tragic. Trying to figure out how such a tiny insect packed enough punch to rival a 10-star threat. Yep, science is failing here. Our boy noticed his hair and eye color shifted. Oh, first stage effects kicking in, cool, subtle flex. While distracted, Wrath's constellation zoomed back onto the battlefield. Hello, incoming missile. Barreling straight toward our boy like a ballistic nightmare. Yep, he's screwed maybe. Fueled by fury and thirsting for blood, he was ready to end our protagonist. Classic anime villain energy. Our boy, more annoyed by the ridiculous exclamation marks in the side character's speech bubble. Priorities. He'd had enough blocking attacks with his own strike, multitasking epic style. Wrath's constellation realized his full power still accomplished jack shit. Brutal, isn't it? Meanwhile, our protagonist, mildly irritated but ready to keep swinging. Grind mode engaged. Turns out what really set him off were the exclamation points. Yikes. Time to finally wrap up this conflict, enough messing around. The boy dropped wrath of fury, declaring the whole ordeal should have been fun. Savage lesson learned. With that, the cosmic entity bit the dust, finally. Justice's constellation watched from the sidelines, probably muttering about how none of this made sense. Left totally speechless because yeah, a constellation just got wrecked by human hands. No way, right? This might literally collapse the cosmic order of the universe. Congratulations, morons, you're screwed. After getting demolished, the entity started laughing like a maniac. Seriously, tone it down, psycho. Somehow he stood back up, refreshed and admitting it was all a blast, wishing our protagonist had shown up sooner. Classic villain flex. That's when the boy realized phase 2 had kicked in. Villain laughter, never a good sign, red flag city. And then the entity casually dropped that the protagonist's friends were already dead. Oh, perfect, just perfect. Hearing that, he spun around, full-on panic mode. Realizing the heat was devouring everyone and the trap was about to go nuclear. Fingers crossed she could stop it. Sure enough, the hotter the guy's rage, the crazier the fire became. Not subtle at all. Seeing the distraction, the Herald of Wrath suggested ignoring the insects, aka humans, because they'd vanish soon anyway. Brutal. And yep, that line lit a fire in our protagonist's chest. Rage incoming. The constellation firmly believed humanity's fate was sealed, everything already in motion. Talk about overconfidence. Oh, and the Rav virus already spreading like wildfire across Earth. Great. For the first time in this fight, our protagonist actually worried. Who knew he had a limit? Meanwhile, the Herald of Wrath kept yapping, claiming every living being on Earth was probably infected. Lovely. Apparently, everyone had already started tearing each other apart thanks to Magnus. Meanwhile, Justice was doing her best to patch up the mess. Now our protagonist was full-on enraged, complete with multiple exclamation marks floating above his head. Dramatic flair maxed. Their fight was escalating every second, and Justice warned the volcano was ready to blow. Yep, ticking time bomb. She used a transport technique, shouting they needed to evacuate. Seriously, genius move. Our boy got caught in the teleport, missing his strike on the Herald of Wrath. Awkward timing. Everyone was now out of that fiery dimension, safe-ish. The next second, massive explosion incoming, chaos obviously. But our boy's team, already heading back to Earth like pros. Our protagonist worried about the threat he'd heard, they had to protect the planet. Priorities finally. Justice was still deep in thought, remembering the portals on Earth were made to exterminate humanity. Zero chill. Seriously, there's no justice in that kind of plan, none. The glowing teleportation was now visible in the sky. Look at that flashy return. And finally, the team touched down on Earth safe and sound. Applause, please. Our boy started healing his friends, checking if everyone was okay. Responsibility mode engaged. He apologized for the chaos, saying it was his fault, totally missing someone creeping up behind him. Rookie mistake. Turning to the side, he saw a person fuming, rage practically radiating off them. Oh boy. Had to dodge a full-on bite, this guy was attacking like a feral beast. Yeah, threat confirmed. Apparently this entity's warnings were legit, not a drill. Humans left on Earth being devoured by pure rage madness. Welcome to hell. A massive number of innocents were already infected. Yikes, chaos achieved. This was the first real test from the Constellation of Wrath, basically a zombie apocalypse kickoff. Brutal opening act. Humanity itself was at stake. What does it even mean to be human? Some wise psychologists said humans are beings exploring their own existence. Fancy words, now get scared. Biologically, humans are mammals in the primate family genus Homo, basically smart animals with way too much brain power. Capable of language, symbols, and building complicated societies. Impressive until you get rage viruses. But if humanity lost its intelligence and culture collapsed, would they still be human? Spoiler, nope. That's the definition of a zombie. Congrats, science. All this chaos caused by the rage virus, thanks virology. This whole lecture came from the hamburger, yes, the literal hamburger, explaining if everyone got it, totally normal. But the girls on the team, still confused beyond belief, classic anime confusion. The warrior had strayed a bit too far, now surrounded by infected. Oh, fantastic. Our protagonist swooped in to save her, hero energy engaged. He wasn't letting a single companion fall to the virus. No way. Electricity became his weapon of choice, striking all the infected. Shock therapy, anyone. Their virus-ridden bodies screamed in a new kind of pain. Brutal efficiency, savage style. After wrecking the first batch of infected, our boy realized, wow, this actually feels kinda good. Sick, right? Turning back with full heroic pose, he asked if the girl was okay. Cue dramatic flair. But the warrior, tears streaming down her face, she asked if everyone was just a damn joke to him. Brutal. Approaching him with pure rage, he started whining that she was complaining again. Rookie move. Only to get a smack right across the face, well deserved. Yes, finally someone hits him. You don't even get what's going on, she snapped, savage. His teammate chimed in asking if he'd completely lost it. Obvious question. Since this circus began, they'd almost died multiple times thanks to our protagonist. Classic MC chaos. He tried to flex, saying he saved them every single time, but the girl, fuming, she said they never should have been dragged into this nonsense. Fair point. Trapped in the insane heat, she screamed non-stop that she didn't want to die, not without seeing her parents one last time. Heartstrings activated. She raged that he couldn't possibly understand how terrifying that was and that she refused to go through it again. Legit trauma. All because of his fun idea she just wanted him to screw off. Savage clapback. Honestly, they were all tools for him to flex his powers, and he did everything solo anyway. Typical MC move. She asked if he even knew what companion meant. He'd only been beating people up, and she totally disagreed with his idea of fun. Fair. He shrugged. That's how stories like this work. Teammate rolled her eyes. No argument needed. Makes zero sense. If people were infected by a virus, surely there's a cure. Hope hello. She was begging him to save them, and honestly, he didn't get it. Thought she was furious about the adventure, but nope, she wanted to save the zombies. Heroic chaos. Continuing on, our protagonist looked like he had something to say. Time for the MC speech. He didn't believe his teammate thought he had actually killed anyone. Come on, obvious misunderstanding. He guaranteed it was just a mix-up, simple. All he did was paralyze them with electricity. They were still alive. She even admitted a cure must exist. Logic check. He also despised MCs who destroy everything in their path and get roasted for it. Relatable. Every time he brought that up, the team just stared blankly. Can't break the fourth wall, what did you expect? He told her not to worry, he wouldn't go that far until she warned him about an infected approaching. Classic timing. Before he knew it, his shoulder got bitten. Yikes, talk about bad luck. Teammates screamed while our protagonist howled in pain, totally confused. Chaos achieved. One of his emergency abilities kicked in, launching web-like restraints to trap the infected. Epic. Neutralized, our boy realized how close he came to disaster. Lesson learned, maybe. The warrior freaked, thinking he might be infected, but our protagonist shrugged. Nothing to see here. Overconfident much. His splendid healing ability is legit, a good reason not to panic. Flexing again. But contrary to his expectations, the wound seemed worse. Oops. Traditional healing failing, he opted for a blessing ability. Ambitious. Attempts failed, the wound wouldn't heal, and Justice said there was no choice. Grim. The virus was a celestial power, he was powerless. She needed to chop his head off before it spread. Brutal honesty. Fear hit him at first, but then anger. Now we're talking. With what control he had left, he tried signaling Justice not to attack. Risky business. Clutching the main character fantasy, he told himself everything would make sense. Desperate times. Thinking the story must be bad because he's too strong, this plot twist was necessary to balance it out. Meta chaos. After understanding all these truths, our protagonist went full-on mad. Rage mode activated. His scream echoed through the streets, everyone hearing that primal fury, terrifying. Justice regretted having to act, but the trap stopped her from striking. Timing saves lives. She needed him alive to return to normal someday. Hamburger fully backing this. Yes, the literal hamburger. She hesitated, worried the zombies were getting out of control, until she asked for a clear path to wield her sword. Serious moves. The trap asked if that was a challenge. Oh yeah, kind of. The warrior snapped, no time for games, they had to reach safety before things got worse. Smart. The human hamburger didn't know how to move through the crowd, but the warrior said it'd be fine. Honestly, props. She asked if the Constellation of Justice could relocate him somewhere safe. Teleport hacks, please. Because somewhere a safe place might still exist. Fingers crossed. The infection had spread throughout the region. Chaos level maxed. But the city school completely abandoned. Eerie vibes, classic horror trope. They decided to drag our protagonist there because obviously he needed more help. The trap asked for some breathing room, realizing our boy was in full-on demonic delirium mode. Acupuncture might fix him. Yeah, okay. And she immediately started jabbing needles into him like a caffeine-crazed nurse. Ouch. Which, surprise surprise, made him vomit a ridiculous amount of blood. Classy. The human sandwich sighed, saying on top of everything it wasn't even working. Fantastic. Yep, celestial powers don't exactly bow down to acupuncture. Shocking, I know. Until our protagonist said he felt amazing, the pressure in his head was gone. Okay, not bad. Justice was left speechless while the trap started flexing, basically bragging about being a miracle worker. Typical. He snapped back to his senses briefly before fury started boiling again. Fun times. One of his pet peeves, being tied up and unable to use his own powers. Rage levels rising. He closed his eyes, deep in thought, trying to decode the author's twisted intentions. Classic meta MC. Until epiphany, he found the solution. Lightbulb moment finally. He announced to everyone that he knew exactly how to overcome this chapter's chaos. Confidence level peak. And spoiler, he was pretty sure he was going to die next chapter. Hype. For anyone interested, welcome to chapter 11. Will he survive? Somewhere else in the city, people were still fighting off infected. No chill. The girl was desperate. Her group had promised to stick together, but now someone had to stay behind. Brutal reality check. And the guy revealed he'd been infected earlier, which is why he was making the sacrifice. Selfless-ish. Apologizing for his recklessness, he wished them all well. Cue dramatic wave. The boat left port, leaving the girl heartbroken AF, tears incoming. All of this being watched on a phone screen. It was just a series and that episode ended. Meta moment much. Our protagonist was the one watching, and yeah, the sacrifice was obvious but still emotional. Pull the strings. He decided to rate it top tier and leave a glowing comment, just like any good fan would. Relatable. Altruism like this, not taught in schools. Personal philosophy beats textbooks any day, preach. The boy kept munching his instant noodles, reflecting on those words, deep yet cheap. Now he returned to his imprisoned state, declaring that before transforming he'd sacrifice himself for everyone. Dramatic as always. But the warrior didn't get it, and Justice didn't grasp sacrifice either. Classic misunderstanding. The protagonist insisted it was destiny, but even the dagger assassin seemed lost. Good luck explaining that. She wanted to know what exactly he'd be sacrificing, for all of them were ridiculously powerful anyway. Valid point. Caught off guard, he stammered, and the warrior quickly realized he was about to stall again. Eye roll. She told him they weren't useless and could handle it themselves. That's when he realized this wasn't real self-sacrifice. Plot twist arc unlocked. Especially since his squad was so strong the infected were scared stiff of them. Flex level insane. Plus, with all humanity infected, hunting other survivors was no fun at all. Sad but true. They agreed, don't kill anyone. Moral high ground check. Considering all this, he needed to understand the chapter premise before losing it, until a weird noise distracted him. Suspense. It was just the dagger assassin's stomach. The trap quipped the girl was hungry, they hadn't eaten all day. Savage timing. The warrior jumped in, claiming she was starving too, even with the chaos around. Relatable. Then all eyes turned to the hamburger lying on the table. Yes, literal hamburger drama. Desperate, it begged them not to eat it. Savage innocence. The trap declared emergency food must sacrifice itself for the greater good. Hamburger not amused. Trying to survive, the human hamburger told everyone to follow him. Leadership unlikely, but there it is. Just outside the room, the trap realized he was right. Yes, small victories. Scattered hamburger packs on the floor, enough for everyone to chow down. Feast unlocked. Apparently our protagonist did this earlier. The warrior was curious about how to even eat them. Priorities. She learned how to open the packaging, amazed by the sheer amount of food in the hallway. Bonus scene, food porn. The dagger assassin asked if she could use friends, deeply offending the human hamburger because, he was a person. Savage misstep. Ignoring the earth-destroying chaos, they decided to pause and eat. Priorities again. Dagger assassin came from another world, trap stuck in rural China vibes. Cultural clash. First time eating a sandwich, so many flavors, completely enchanted. Sensory overload. While everyone ate, Justice asked the protagonist how he was feeling, caring but subtle. He thanked her for restraining him in the chair. Small gratitude moment. She said it wasn't even necessary and low-key regretted dragging him to that other dimension, because now he was stuck suffering from wrath until Light-Eye kicked the bucket. Brutal. Feeling absolute agony, our boy groaned, asking what the hell he was supposed to do in that situation. Classic MC whining. That's when Justice said she wasn't gonna let him rot like that. Finally, someone with a spine. Humans were getting wrecked by constellations left and right, and she wanted to handle it properly. Someone finally using common sense. Knowing her motivation, our boy felt a tiny spark of hope, barely enough to matter. Justice told him to hang in there a bit longer. There had to be a way to fix this, especially with solid companions around. Teamwork moment, hooray. Meanwhile, the girls just strolled in, happy as clams after scarfing down their food. Mood upgrade complete. Our protagonists in Justice were slightly lost at the sudden burst of happiness. Awkward. Which only made our boy even more furious, seeing friends satisfied. How dare they enjoy themselves? Rage mode activated. He lost control again, and Justice had to wrestle him into that chair like a damn toddler. Struggle city. But apparently her efforts were pointless. The trap chimed in she needed to return to her original form. Duh. Since she'd been transformed, her abilities were all out of whack. Controlling internal energy was basically impossible. Fun. When she started using her powers, she noticed something off. Interesting. She sensed an energy and it wasn't far, getting closer. Suspense. It came from someone untouched by rage. Shocker, considering Earth was basically a hellscape. Justice was like impossible. She could feel the infection had reached everything. Her senses never lied, supposedly. But the trap straight up disagreed, trusting her own skills. Confidence level ridiculous. She pinpointed the exact location of the uninfected person, claiming Justice could hear their breathing if she paid attention. Spooky precision. Justice decided to trust that intel gamble time. And she was immediately stunned. There really was a normal person. Gasp. That's when the dagger assassin asked if there were more survivors, only to be corrected by the warrior. The infected were still alive too. Chaos squared. Justice sensed the person approaching but couldn't figure it out, and the dagger assassin warned they couldn't hesitate. The poor human might be in danger. Tense. Right in front of them, our protagonist lost control again, screaming like an absolute maniac. Classic. Justice said it was a power rivaling cosmic existence. Hurry up or the deviant would obliterate Earth. She'd stay behind to keep him in the chair. Stakes equals insane. The rest of the team had to handle things solo. Hope you like pain. Trap jumped out the window carrying the mascot while heading to the uninfected person. Multitasking level expert. Dagger assassin and warrior stayed behind, still a bit worried. Understandable. Warrior wasn't sure if it was smart to just go off like that without a plan. Smart, yes, but irrelevant. But Trap had so many abilities, she basically walked on air like she was gliding. Ridiculous flex. The human hamburger had no clue why he was being carried. Trap said she brought him because he understood this world well and was easy to carry. Bless your heart. Those words hit the hamburger deep, first time he'd felt needed. Wholesome surprise. Trap touched down as they neared their destination, almost there. She felt peaceful energy from someone in that building. Hamburger impressed. But infected were closing in, urgency ramped up. Hamburger worried if the peaceful person would even answer the door after all this chaos. Fair concern. Before he could whine more, Trap shoved through the infected like they were paper. Savage entrance. Smashed the window and forced her way into the apartment. Glass everywhere, but mission accomplished. Now both of them were inside. Welcome to the safe zone. Hamburger wasn't sure if entering like that was even allowed. Rules, what rules? Apartment seemed empty, making him doubt anyone actually lives there. Classic abandoned vibe. Trap said someone was behind that door. She could hear calm breathing. Relief, maybe. She gently twisted the doorknob. Dramatic tension equals max. And both were greeted by a totally unexpected scene. Surprise. Hamburger started freaking out. What even is happening? Anxiety overload. But it was clearly a room belonging to a webtoon fan filled with nods to famous series. Nerd heaven. Trap asked about all the talismans. Hamburger said they weren't what she was thinking, but equally bizarre, quirky details. Under those covers lay the person they were searching for. Jackpot. Trap manifested energy in one hand, radiating power. Hamburger told her to chill a sec. Caution prevails. And the girl under the covers slowly sat up on her own. Dramatic awakening. Apparently she had just woken up. Cue confused but ready energy. Poor bastard Hamburger had zero defenses against cute women popping up like some rom-com trope. He got instantly hooked, like seriously, he didn't stand a damn chance. The Trap found him so pathetic that she literally tossed him to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Meanwhile, the new girl's brain started screaming, what the hell is happening? A talking hamburger teamed with a martial artist. Yeah, only in some whacked-out manga would you see this crap. Her reaction hit like a plot twist from hell, leaving both the hamburger and the Trap completely speechless. This girl looked exactly like the deviant, and she kept saying this felt straight out of a webtoon. She just finished a chapter and our dumb protagonist, still alive obviously. Full-on disappointed, the Trap glared at the hamburger and asked if everyone here acted like absolute morons. The girl was convinced she was dreaming, staring at that woman in front of her in a freaking talking hamburger. She introduced herself like nothing was weird. I'm Linaire. Hamburger's brain finally clicked. She was a student here, which apparently shocked the girl. The Trap asked if they knew each other, and the hamburger said, yeah, she's basically famous around here. She even had her own stupid little nickname in school. He started reminiscing about when things weren't completely insane. Nara, the student in question, was a legendary napper during class. The class rep had been dumb enough to deliver test papers, of course. And Nara couldn't believe her eyes either. She had never once seen Nara awake during lessons, yet somehow this sleepyhead still aced everything. Top sleepyhead student ever, that's Nara. Hamburger was fuming. He literally couldn't comprehend how someone could sleep through everything, even skip school. That's when Nira casually dropped, I really love sleeping. Like thanks genius, didn't see that coming. Oh, and it was a holiday that day. Suddenly everything clicked for the hamburger. So yeah, the school being empty made sense. Now the Trap was freaking out. Gates of hell had opened, monsters everywhere, and the girl had been snoozing through the apocalypse. Hearing all that, Nero was like, wow, actually sounds like a story, which somehow made her seem even weirder to everyone else. Trap didn't waste time and just picked her up, announcing it was time to move. Nara was uncomfortable but shrugged it off, might as well be a dream. Since the trap hadn't clocked her uncanny resemblance to the deviant yet, she figured Nara could be useful. They shot out the window like some freaky action scene, heading back to school. On the way, Nira was screaming for help, clearly terrified, while some mysterious creep watched from the shadows. And this dude found the whole circus super entertaining. Peeking through the window, the warrior noticed the trap had already made it back. Once inside, she bragged about rescuing the uninfected person, and casually explained the situation like it was a school project. Nara felt her heart racing like she'd just seen a demon in a Starbucks line, until she realized everyone in the room looked absurdly hot, like, "Are you kidding me?" The warrior, also a student, should have immediately recognized the sleepyhead legend. And the dagger assassin casually dropped that the depraved one's condition was tanking fast. Justice could still restrain him, but if the infection kept spreading, their only move would be a full-on sacrifice. No way around it. Nara felt a twinge of intimidation hearing him called the depraved one. "Yeah, thanks for the trauma, assholes." Sandwich, literally that's what they called him, asked if she knew him. Nira said yes, but he might have forgotten her. Childhood friends, apparently, and the depraved one had introduced her to comic books back in the day. The girl still thought this was a dream, but tough luck, it was a trap. Totally wrong. The warrior didn't expect it, but somehow the sleepy student had a friendship path paved, and Justice was confused why she wasn't infected. Nura assumed this had to be Justice, hearing about her on the way here, Hamburger's mind blown by her quick thinking. And the girl was noticing other weird stuff too, naturally. She assumed she was running this dream while everyone else screamed, "Nope, this is real, idiot." Warrior assumed she was confused, but Nara was certain it was a dream now because her crush had appeared. Classic anime energy. A dream tailor-made for just the two of them to live out together. Cute, annoying, but whatever. Male protagonist losing his damn mind, and nobody knows what to do. Enter the female protagonist, swooping in like, "Yeah, she's right, deal with it." Warriors struggled to process that the depraved one had an admirer, then panicked seeing Nora handling the protagonist. She demanded him to stop but also embraced the depraved one. Savage, no chill. Nara tried reassuring him, "It's okay." He begged her to remember him. Classic "please don't forget me" energy. Justice called her a moron, screaming this was dangerous, she had no clue and that it wouldn't work. Big brain move, right? Nara ignored all that noise and pressed her fingers to her eyes like some freaky anime ritual. She only did it to make her eyes water and look convincing. The warriors saw it and thought, "Yep, this girl is as freaking insane as the depraved one, no argument there." Meanwhile, tears were streaming down her face like a freaking waterfall. And one of those damn tears hit the protagonist, landing on his forehead like some dramatic raindrop from a rom-com nobody asked for, causing him to react in a completely unexplainable, what the actual fuck kind of way. To Justice's utter shock, she was convinced this was impossible. It seemed Nira's weird little intervention was actually working. The trap was staring, confused beyond repair, while the hamburger felt this deja vu crap he couldn't place. Justice was officially losing her mind, thinking, "This is absolutely unbelievable." Spoiler, it totally is. And the protagonist, who'd been losing it hard, suddenly looked calmer. "Who even are you?" His eyes slowly opened like someone finally woke him from a centuries-long nap. Rage gone poof just like that. Nara announced to everyone the foolproof method to bring any male protagonist back from the brink. A sincere hug and tears from an old friendship. Honestly savage but effective. The depraved one stared at her, trying to compute what just happened, and Nira turned so red she could melt concrete. Shy to the point she could barely speak. Our boy recognizes the sleepy student but has no clue why she's in pajamas. Seriously, who sleeps through an apocalypse in PJs? Only now did she realize her attire was totally inappropriate. In that shift in her behavior, Dagger Assassin got confused or jealous, probably both. Justice approached the depraved one saying, "That girl, yeah, she's the one who fixed him." Naturally, he got curious as hell, wondering how some random pajama girl managed to cure him without flexing cosmic powers. He remembered the childhood friendship angle and the tears, classic anime requirements, but otherwise Nara would have to like him and play the role of female protagonist. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Already drawing absurd conclusions, he realized he was back to normal. Congrats, genius. Regardless, the depraved one was genuinely thankful for everything done on his behalf. Assuming Nira might be cold, he cozied up close, smooth. The girl still thought this was a dream but kept staring anyway like she was hypnotized. Until the depraved one, clearly not subtle, invited her to join his team. Savage move. They needed a smart addition, and the depraved one had a feeling she'd be insanely useful. Justice, totally panicking, that girl neutralized a constellation's power, she might be more dangerous than the depraved one himself. Big yikes. Now back to business. Nira complained this dream was way too detailed, her excuse, too many movies before bed, classic. The warrior, as always, reminded everyone this was 100% real, and that the fate of the freaking world was hanging by a thread. Finally, Nira seemed to get it. The boy wanted to return to the constellation's dimension, but Justice warned, no plan, same disaster. Thanks, Captain Obvious. The depraved one lost. They hadn't faced an opponent they couldn't stomp yet. Shock horror. That's when Nara, ever the voice of sanity, asked them to explain what the hell was happening, because she had zero clue. This instantly gave our protagonist a brainwave, smart girl alert. Since she was clearly intelligent, he decided she might help strategize. Genius plan, honestly. He said he'd explain everything, hoping Nara could spit out a workable plan. Let's see if this works. A few minutes ticked by as he explained the chaos. Once she absorbed all the insanity, she was ready. Finally, comprehension achieved. Armed with knowledge, the group warped back to the constellation's dimension. The enraged man, already waiting, big surprise asshole. He complimented their courage for returning. Yeah, nice pep talk, bro. He noticed the group had grown in size. Oh wow, more targets, perfect. The protagonist said he'd already had his fill of frustration thanks to that entity. Life's too short, bro's done. His confidence just fueled the entity's rage. Classic anime trope activated. Consumed by fury, the constellation charged at our protagonist like a tornado on steroids. The blow was about to land square on his face, but he didn't flinch. Smooth. A subtle "yeah, I got this" smile played across his face. Damn, confidence level over 9,000. A massive shockwave tore through the entire dimension. Epic chaos achieved. The trap had to throw up a barrier to protect her team. Good call, Einstein. For the first time since meeting, the entity's eyes actually showed intrigue. Didn't see that coming, huh? His strike smashed into a shield. He couldn't touch the depraved one. Sucks to be you, buddy. All thanks to Justice, who was expertly babysitting the boy like a pro. That's when the depraved one said attention would spike again. Oh boy, here we go. Leaving the constellation of Wrath absolutely losing his damn mind. Rage level over 9,000. Aware that Justice was interfering, the Herald of Wrath snapped. What the hell are you doing? Trying to take down my auxiliary constellation with these pathetic bugs. Justice deadpan, nope, I'm here to protect him, thanks, savage. But in that constellation's tiny little brain, none of this made any sense. Surprise, asshole. That only fueled his anger, ramping up attacks aimed straight at our protagonist. With Justice shielding him, the depraved one started thinking, maybe I actually have a shot at taking this guy down. Balls of steel energy mode activated. Wrath seemed to actually enjoy the challenge, like some cosmic sadist having a field day. Before attacking, he began charging power, gathering it around his neck like a glowing, terrifying necklace of doom. Our protagonist knew that was the trigger for his second phase. Yeah, deja vu, asshole. And last time he got obliterated, remember that embarrassment. The Herald of Wrath mocked, do you really think you can handle the power of a constellation? Because genius, you should have been ready to face Wrath itself, not just a measly constellation. After delivering that cringeworthy motivational speech, he hit with insane force, forcing our boy to actually defend himself. The dimension was shredded beyond recognition, courtesy of Wrath. The strike's force echoed through space like a cosmic fart, sending the depraved one hurtling past the atmosphere. Justice's shield barely held. Looking back, she could trace the absolute mess of destruction left behind. Yikes. She knew the Herald of Wrath could destroy her barrier. No crap, Sherlock. The man smirked, saying he hadn't even powered up yet. Classic overconfidence, obviously. He asked the insects, you think I've been holding back this rage all this time? Yeah, imagine that. A lifetime of anger had ruined everything he touched. Literally everything. What a sad, angry bastard. And the thing that pissed him off most, hating his own rage, relatable. He took responsibility for controlling it. Kind of heroic if you ignore the destruction. That's why he stored all that fury in the artifact around his neck for centuries. Yes, centuries. And now, time to unleash every ounce of pent-up rage. Popcorn ready, folks. His body radiated immense power. The constellation itself was genuinely in danger. The protagonist group watched, worried, but the trap, she looked like she was loving this chaos. Beasts forged from the planet's magma began materializing like some evil art project. The Herald of Wrath was ready to throw everything he had at them. Big flex. Ordering the magma monstrosities to murder every insect in sight. Casual. Far away, our boy trusted his companions and activated the first phase of his ascension. No half measures here. He didn't want to overuse this power, but the replication ability, yeah, he unleashed it. Multiple clones of himself started appearing in space like a cosmic army. Wrath chuckled, these bugs can try all they want, doesn't matter, savage arrogance. Since everyone was on extinction-level risk, Justice wasn't holding back, already took down the first magma creature. But of course they reformed instantly thanks to the planet's molten core, of course. Justice realized no matter how many she cut down, they'd keep coming. Nara grimaced, plan wrecked. They needed to retreat ASAP, but Justice wasn't about to bail. Someone else gotta babysit these idiots. She didn't expect Wrath to have this much power, her bad for underestimating him. To fix it, she needed to step up and actually fight, no more Mr. Nice Hero. Swinging her sword to keep the magma abominations off her team, pushing her constellation of justice powers to their absolute max. But the creatures just kept respawning like some evil meme. One even snuck up behind her, big yikes. Justice realized she literally had no time to react, panic mode activated. Except a bigger threat intervened, a purple energy dragon. Damn, talk about escalation. Trap created that thing, savage move. She refused to let Justice carry the burden of protecting everyone solo. That's teamwork anime style. That's when the celestial entity realized, oh wait, she's not alone. Surprise, bitch. These enemies were conjured by a constellation and the dagger assassin said they could fight too. Finally, back up. Each had a piece of the depraved one's power, they actually had a shot now. Justice admired their sheer will to survive, gotta respect that grind. Proving the Herald of Wrath wrong, humanity isn't trash, shock horror. Justice granted protection to these bugs, turns out humanity's one of the noblest forms of life. Who knew? Meanwhile, our protagonist, still taking hits like a glorified punching bag, sigh. The Herald of Wrath taunted, you won't hide from X-Wunger, subtle threat, not really. He obliterated all the replicas with a solar blast, brutal. Even from afar, the depraved one realized just how deadly that attack was, yikes. Until Wrath finally got to him and wondered why he hadn't attacked. Seriously, why didn't he? Struggling to speak because his throat was getting crushed like wet paper. Our boy calmly said, I'm not fighting you, big brain energy. Wrath had zero idea how to process that, confused celestial alert. Depraved one explained, constellations can't die so fighting is pointless, simple logic. That's why he's planning to make Wrath his ally instead, bold. Moments earlier, rewind for context. They'd been strategizing against that constellation like responsible heroes. After hearing the logic, Justice nodded, okay, makes sense. Nara agreed it was smart and wanted opinions from the rest, teamwork vibes. Trap said, we're facing a cosmic entity. Hamburger replied, Justice is a cosmic entity too, hot take. Only the depraved one's opinion remained, drama intensifies. He didn't agree with the strategy, of course. Warrior asked why, and he started explaining like a grandpa lecturing. Bringing Wrath on board would make everything weirder. Already chaotic, this is peak anime logic. The group wasn't used to all these new characters, adding another, pure chaos. Readers expect a battle that burns the entire illustration budget. Every time he says that, things get even more absurd. Classic. Trap thought it over and also disagreed. Wrath's a cruel monster and humanity is on the chopping block. Smart call. Schumann only feels satisfied after personally taking him down, but someone reminded her. No chance, reality check. Justice stated humans could never destroy a constellation. Period. Dagger Assassin suggested she fight in humanity's place, but Justice said battles between constellations are off limits. Rules, man. However, if the plan is to make Wrath an ally, she's down to lend her strength. Teamwork saves the day. Our protagonist Stigl opposed this idea. Nara said, got a better plan, speak now, mic drop. He gathered all his brainpower to come up with something, sweat dripping. Genius mode activated. Realizing maybe there's no better choice, dead-end logic. Now he wants every scrap Justice knows about the Herald of Wrath. Info dump incoming. Back in the present, he declared he would make Wrath an ally. Bold move. Before he could continue, Wrath smacked him again, brutal. But the boy dodged with a mirage skill. I know you're invincible to others, bro, smooth. Wrath started recalling stuff he'd heard, that he was the brightest star ever. Ego boost much. That same souvenir could have literally become a constellation. Potential unlocked. Problem, his temper, dude got angry faster than a Twitter thread. That pushed him further from everyone else. Classic rage isolation. Only made him more furious, rage inception. The King of Constellations said he admired the boy's consistency. Flattery much. Naming him the Constellation of Wrath, hoping he'd fulfill his purpose in the natural order. Cosmic job promotion. First time he ever felt recognized, finally some validation. And feeling something good for the first time, yeah, only made him angrier. Classic anime paradox. Our protagonist noted that since then he's been silently working as a constellation. Silent rage mode activated. Furious Wrath hated being understood by an insect. Humiliation level high. Depraved one healed his wounds while Wrath vented his accumulated fury, nursing a cosmic tantrum. Asking, what do you think about having an ally who doesn't break or crumble? Big brain move. That suggestion hit the constellation of Wrath like a freaking lightning bolt. Dude did not see that coming. The depraved one hoped his crazy plan was actually working, because let's be real, he was already at his breaking point. It was the first time Wrath had ever heard words like that, and probably never wanted to again. Now it was time to see if this insect could really hold it together or crumble into cosmic dust. Trapped in the constellation's massive hands, the depraved one realized, yup, this is beyond dangerous. Like dead if I blink dangerous. Seriously, one misstep and he was toast. Absolute zero chance. That's when he had a terrifying thought, he might actually die. Cool, classic anime panic moment. Then boom, an explosion erupted like stars slam dancing in space. Spectacular. Below, the protagonist's team continued fighting the magma abominations like absolute madmen. The dagger assassin was running on fumes and suddenly noticed something important, or terrifying. Everyone looked up just in time to witness Wrath's massive explosion firsthand. Eyes wide, jaw dropped. It had been ages since Wrath had unleashed this much fury all at once. Honestly, it was kind of refreshing. Even the guy doing the exploding felt it, a weird satisfaction that only pure rage can bring. The depraved one shrugged, no need to thank me, savage humility. Wrath gawked, still can't believe this punk survived that nuclear-level explosion. Seriously, how did he survive that? No freaking clue, plot armor much. Our boy realized, yep, classic protagonist plot armor activated. Thank you, narrative gods. He told Wrath he was perfectly fine and deep down he knew he was a good guy. Cheeky honesty. Wrath blinked, the boy talks like he actually understands the universe. What a concept. Then the boy asked the burning question, did you really spread the virus just to wipe out humanity? Seeing humanity with his own eyes, he realized people weren't attacking each other, they were just upset. Cute, but wrong target, bro. Until those infected got attacked too, and boom, our protagonist became infected. Oh, the irony. Finally, everything clicked. The virus came from the constellation's despair, born from wanting someone to understand his frustration. Damn, therapy needed. He had been suffering alone for ages, and now humanity finally got a front row seat to his misery. Brutal exposure. The depraved one nodded, yeah, that was some seriously rough times. Wrath had blamed himself before because, well, that's his personality. Classic self-flagellation. He wanted to understand why he was that way. Spoiler, normal life not happening. He knew he needed to change, but lol, change is hard, bro. Eventually, he realized obsessing over that alone was a waste of time. Smart move. Recognizing his own empathy and the fact he'd already survived countless hardships, he finally sighed. Growth achieved. Now Wrath could have friends who recognized his efforts. About damn time. That's why he wanted them as companions. Classic assemble your squad moment. Hit by the power of that speech, Wrath was left speechless. Never saw it coming. He'd never thought someone could feel this way in his life. Wild. And it made him insanely angry, so he immediately prepared another strike. Rage mode activated. The depraved one closed his eyes, bracing himself for impact like a champ. Boom, he got hit hard by Wrath's arrow of fury. Brutal but expected. I don't need that kind of crap, Wrath muttered, still seething. Classic. Releasing pure rage, he slammed Yubayan over and over against the boy, determined to crush the insect into paste. The depraved one slammed to the ground like some shattered mirror. Ouch. Justice was freaking out, eyes wide at the boy's battered condition. Panic level max. Because behind him, a furious celestial entity, and he was not happy. Who hated being made to feel weak. Big ego alert. Justice begged for him to stop. Dagger Assassin also worried like any sane person. Until Wrath finally realized he couldn't stay mad about it. Twist. Rage evaporated, leaving a weird calm. Go figure. Nira rushed to patch up the depraved one, muttering, classic anime moment. Justice told Wrath to take a look around. Pay attention, buddy. He did slowly, eyes narrowing. And boom, everything in that scene hit him like a ton of bricks. Shock registered. That planet, once a literal inferno, now looked like someone hit the mute button on fire and cranked up the chill. Peace vibes everywhere. Wrath never thought that scorching hellhole could ever feel cold, and the depraved one was dying to know if he'd join the squad. Yup, he actually had to decide if he'd hop on this wild adventure. The guy had to tilt his head skyward, taking in the scenery like some emo celestial tourist. Finally, after way too much pondering, he said, alright fine, count me in. Classic reluctant ally energy. Walking over, the depraved one grinned, smart move. But internally, who knew what chaos the future held? That's why he was counting on Wrath's help. Hope was fragile, but hey, desperate times. But the moment he touched Wrath's fading form, it hit him ice-cold vibes. The guy basically said, maybe I can't come after all. Justice freaked, no way this is happening right. Constellations don't just evaporate. Yeah, when they lose their reason to exist, poof, they vanish. And now Wrath had no target for his rage, dissolving. Before ghosting out, Wrath made one final request. Give that amulet to the depraved one. The amulet of Wrath, a relic stuffed full of centuries of fury. Basically a rage battery. Wrath thought it'd help on their journey, but the depraved one. Nah, he insisted the guy come with them. Good luck with that. Slowly fading away, Wrath muttered an apology for calling the boy an insect. Classy exit. Finally forming a bond only to vanish shortly after. Yeah, that made him pissed, then gone. And with that, wrath disappeared, leaving everyone alone in the void. Cosmic loner vibes. Cue dramatic silence. Blade of Justice swooped toward the depraved one's neck like, "You're dead if I say so." He dodged without really processing it while Justice muttered, "Can't let you live, sorry not sorry." Losing a constellation, bad omen. Universe balance collapsing, boy is now a walking apocalypse. Trapanura screamed, begging her to hold off. Wait, chill. Justice, already poised, sword gleaming, apologies for the murder vibes, but rules are rules. The depraved one realized, yeah, things just got extra spicy. Then plot twist, a mysterious figure appeared, holding Justice's sword with a single finger like some casual stunt. Justice recognized him instantly, cue side-eye. It was the constellation of Fun, crashing their little apocalypse party. The depraved one blinked, this entrance was pure cartoon energy, zero subtlety. Justice asked, "What are you doing here?" Fun waved them down, "Chill, listen, big news." He couldn't believe the boy actually tried to make Wrath his ally. Props for the guts and that artifact, nice grab. But the real drama was just starting. A royal decree straight from the king of all constellations dropped like a mic. And yeah, everyone needed to know what it said. Spoiler, it's big. Time to prep for a divine ceremony. Think cosmic red carpet meets apocalypse. Justice blinked, warrior clueless, divine ceremony sounds fancy and terrifying. Fun explained the depraved one was about to officially become a constellation too. Big promotion energy. He didn't exactly look thrilled, surprise. Constellations treat humans like ingredients in their chef experiments. Lately, humanity almost got nuked, fun fact. Fun told him to calm down a bit, not all constellations are evil spice, some are okay-ish. Apparently humans had been chosen, strange. Fun asked if the boy really wanted to say no. And of course, he shut that down instantly. Firm as ever, no negotiation, classic stubborn protagonist. Fun wasn't shocked, been expecting this energy. He'd been watching Transcendent Being style, prioritizing fun over all else. Can't ignore someone like this, impossible. Not just him, other constellations were low-key obsessed with the boy's antics, especially post-Wrath fiasco. The depraved one did not love the closeness and Fun apologized, but admitted he was glad the boy was committed to Fun. Fair enough. Fun promised to negotiate with the king, noting the boy refused the invitation. He hoped the boy was ready. Big cosmic consequences inbound. Because yeah, now every constellation plus the 12 Zavak houses, basically enemies, no pressure. The depraved one perked up at the mention of these 12 houses. Intriguing. Fun explained that among the endless constellations, well, things were about to get wild. Some stars shine so damn bright that even the king himself had to handpick them. The top 12, the creme de la creme. Each one has enough raw power to wipe out every living thing in the universe. Yeah, no pressure. And guess what? The depraved idiot had just gone and pissed off all 12 at once. Just thinking about it, terrifying, like holy shit. But here's the fun twist. One of the Zodiac houses might just have to sit this round out. Because surprise, Justice decided to side with him. Weird flex, but okay. That's when the depraved one piped up, asking if Justice was really one of the 12 houses. And of course, she confirmed it straight up. Before rocking the title of Justice, she went by the House of Libra, the 7th house of the Zodiac, and casually revealed the mark on her face like it was nothing. The boy blinked. He'd been strolling beside someone insanely powerful and didn't even realize it. Naturally, he asked if all Zubai members got face marks like that. Fun nodded, confirming yes, but they all varied depending on the house. Turning to Justice, she mentioned she might lose her position. Justice shrugged, saying it didn't matter. The universe's order came first, and she'd happily hand her spot to someone worthy. Savage but fair. Fun realized immediately, joking around here, big mistake. Everything's taken way too seriously. The depraved one wanted to know if he had any witty comeback, so the constellations started thinking. He said they were kinda alike, they both loved having fun. Classic MC energy. And right now, he wanted entertainment because honestly, he'd do the same for a kid. But of course, someone else got hyped AF and started radiating power, itching for a worthy opponent. Trap went full-on assault mode, aiming to erase that constellation entirely. Brutal. Fun pointed out the words being thrown were vicious, straight-up terrifying. Yeah, that could scare anyone, even a pro. Trap was dangerously close, attack locked, ready to obliterate, but the constellation just flicked his fingers. One damn flick. The depraved one's eyes went wide. Oh shit, this is actually dangerous. The constellation of Fun smirked, telling him he'd show how it's done. One finger movement later and Trap's attack was nullified, mic drop. That single gesture screamed power, planet-destroying kind of power. Yep, capable of erasing an entire planet like it's a doodle on a napkin. And naturally it triggered a massive explosion, casual. Justice had to teleport everyone out immediately. Safety first, obviously. Everyone got out fine, but the depraved one was sweating bullets. Trap could have died there, but Justice admitted it might have been a fun death. Facing a stronger opponent, why not? Savage logic. Suddenly, the constellation of Fun appeared next to them, nodding in agreement. And of course, he asked where the hell everyone was rushing off to. Classic. As expected, humans are chaotic but fascinating. Seeing the protagonist mad, he asked why after all he saved the guy's life earlier. That's when the depraved one realized he'd almost gotten toasted fighting the constellation of Wrath, yet somehow nothing happened. Lucky bastard. The constellation explained, as long as he protected Fun, he'd be under Fun's protection. No one else could gang up on him. Smart move. Because he's Fun and also the House of Capricorn, multitasking at its finest. He had one more nugget of info to share. But only the depraved one got the VIP whisper treatment. Up close near the ear, creepy, maybe fun, definitely. He asked if that didn't seem fun, revealing he had high expectations for him and even handed over something fancy. If the depraved one ever wanted a rematch, all he had to do was use that flute. Game on. Finally, Fun waved goodbye to everyone, leaving the depraved one in peak confusion, like what just happened. They were finally landing back on Earth. The group was once again drowning in uncertainty. Fun times. But space travel like this, not their jam. Nausea City. Everything happening at warp speed, and the depraved one didn't even have time to mourn the previous chaos. Justice approached, apologizing for trying to sword him earlier. Yeah, casual near-death threat apology. He waved it off, no worries, but Justice knew he was juggling a ton of crap. She'd been cocky, claiming she'd return to the Constellation Temple for the King's orders. Trap also wanted to chill and train, predictable. Nero walked up asking what he planned to do next. Before he could answer, a freaking hamburger told everyone to look in one direction. Yes, a talking hamburger, deal with it. They did, immediately obeying the meat. And saw life returning to Earth like nothing had gone wrong. Workers patched streets damaged by monsters, basic civics. The injured got help, finally some adulting. The rage infection, totally gone. Hamburger realized the depraved one saved the entire damn world, respect. The boy finally grasped the scale of his own chaos, big brain moment. That group about to disband for good. Hamburger was shocked when the boy said everyone could return to normal life. Calm down, dude. Despite his title, the depraved one hadn't done much solo and the hamburger wanted details. Title? What title? He said he'd do things his own way from now on. Cue dagger assassin sweating bullets. Then he popped open his system window and poked the hamburger. Not literally, don't be weird. A message confirmed the mission complete, but our boy panicked because the hamburger could see it too. Not cool. He opened the system again, griping, no more than 4 lines, thank you, reading is hard. Message was trimmed. Apparently he was being penalized for helping kill the Constellation of Wrath. Ouch. The depraved one didn't see that coming, shocked little bastard. After being notified, he freaked, wondering what kind of punishment awaited. Lose powers, space prison, Earth opening gates, oh boy. He was panicking hard. The system said he and his companions were now under supervision. No blocking constellations and must-do trials. Lame but manageable. Way lighter than expected, everyone huddled to read it, no secrets here. The depraved one was stunned, his crew could read it too, surprised much. Nara freaked, realizing she was officially on the team. Welcome, newbie. System confirmed instantly, cold robotic efficiency. The boy said he'd handle the trials alone, no friends suffering, hero energy. System got annoyed, telling him to quit the melodrama, calm your ass down. Thanks to him, the systems had issues with constellations and was tired of him skipping long messages. Rude. After that verbal smackdown, System felt slightly better, bless technology. Justice came up with a question, could she join the constellation trials too? System said yes and cheekily asked if she already regretted it. She was annoyed, mood swings. For beating the Constellation of Wrath, the depraved one would get a reward. Finally, some good news. At least one win, praise be. Then the system screen vanished, ghosted, leaving behind only his furious companions demanding answers immediately. Mood chaotic. He tried apologizing, begging them not to split, needed all hands on deck. Trap was ready to end things personally while the assassin tried to chill her out. Yeah, messy. Justice realized the chaos was real. Next challenge, unknown, separation likely. Meanwhile, the hamburger cried, imagining his ruined life. Dramatic much. Warrior got her turn to speak, told everyone to pay attention, finally. She just wanted to see her parents. Worrying about family beats everything. Being comforted by the assassin, Nira suggested heading to her house first. Smart move. The depraved one remembered he hadn't thought about other parents before. Rookie mistake, he agreed. They headed to her place, no-brainer. As soon as she entered, her mom was there. Cue emotional reunion. Mom had been worried sick about her absence, understandable. Companions appeared at the door too, asking to enter. Meanwhile, her mom called for Dad, classic family chaos. Dad was visibly concerned too, ticked off, worried, and probably about to lecture. Asked if everyone had kept his daughter safe during all that insanity. The protagonist paused, admitted yes, but companions knew that was only half the truth. He caused most of it, oops. Even so, Dad sincerely thanked him, respect earned. The depraved one felt legit accomplished, finally some validation. After a few minutes the full story was laid out, everything, all of it. Dad said it was unbelievable, but seeing was believing. They realized the boy saved humanity. Mic drop. He felt genuinely happy that his daughter had a friend as ridiculously competent as the depraved one. Lucky kid. The boy, of course, had never seen himself that way. Meanwhile, in another room, the warrior was handing out clothes like a boss. Nara looked way sharper now thanks to the warrior's intervention. Glow up achieved. The assassin was low-key impressed by the quality of fabrics in this era, while Justice still had zero clue why humans bother wearing clothes at all. Savage. Meanwhile, poor Hamburger was having a full mental breakdown, and the depraved one was wondering, were his own clothes really that bad? Brutal self-reflection. That is, until the warrior asked Trap if she liked her outfit. Cue chaos. Trap's reply, she'd rather die slowly than wear that atrocity again. And yes, just to remind everyone, she's technically a dude. Savage mic drop. The warrior's mom whipped up a meal for everyone and called her daughter to pull the dish from the oven. And she did it with expert precision, smooth. Leaving the boys flabbergasted. Even a human hamburger didn't know girls could move like that, mind blown. After all the stress, everyone finally got a chill moment, peaceful if fleeting. The dining table was getting set, prepping for an impromptu banquet. No one expected this many guests, but somehow they managed. Props. Food served, everyone seated, time to feast. Some were seasoned veterans at dining, but Trap had zero clue what the utensils were even for. Rookie move. The depraved one was captivated by the spread, while the warrior's dad thought, wow, wish I could summon him as my own. Poor innocent guy. Warrior's mom announced it was lasagna, her daughter's favorite recipe, and the daughter made sure to clarify she hadn't cooked it just for them. Humble flex. Trap was instantly sold, claiming the warrior could go pro as a chef. Meryl realized this woman basically embodied culinary perfection. Turns out the warrior had toyed with becoming a pro chef as a kid. The depraved one had never imagined her with that kind of backstory. Wild. Everyone was eating happily, the human hamburger observing from afar, probably drooling. He reflected that food tastes even better when shared with good company. Deep. Finally, plates empty, everyone stuffed in content. Victory. The depraved one gave the warrior's mom mad props for her cooking skills. Respect earned. She genuinely appreciated it, class act. Until someone casually remarked it was a bit too salty for their taste. Shocked everyone, didn't see that coming. Justice and the depraved one jumped, hadn't even noticed this random person lurking. Classic sneak attack. That's someone, the constellation of cuisine, and she actually liked what she tasted despite the criticism. Savage foodie energy. The depraved one asked why she was suddenly here. Her answer, obvious, duh. She hit Michelle with the spicy flavor of trials. Not literal chili, probably, maybe. Thinking a fight might break out, he told the warrior's dad to hide. But the constellation, she wasn't primitive like the others, chill vibes. She's always hunting new flavors and had already set a challenge for the protagonist's crew. Drama incoming. They now had to cook something delicious enough to satisfy her, hunting down and preparing ingredients themselves. No pressure. The depraved one immediately questioned why he should obey. Legit question. The constellation replied, everyone here should count their lucky stars. This is a golden opportunity or doom. If it weren't for Fun's previous mercy, humanity would already be wiped. Yeah, kinda terrifying. With that in mind, the depraved one suspected the constellation of Fun might be plotting something, while the constellation of Cuisine warned that failure meant the end was inevitable. No sugarcoating. 1 week to prep, once ready, summon her via the system. TikTok MC. Just like that, she appeared and vanished. Poof, gone, classic anime exit. Warrior's mom was utterly confused. Her daughter realized they'd have to cook for aliens. Screw up, humanity dies, casual stakes. The depraved one started panicking. He didn't know how to cook. And what the hell do his powers even do in this scenario? That's when he thought about his companions, backup needed. He told the warrior's parents they'd be heading out again. The dad realized, yep, they're about to save the world again, overachievers. Excited, the dad told him he was counting on him to secure his daughter's future. Shock and awe. Outside, the group gathered to strategize, planning mode on. The depraved one asked if they remembered the first time he summoned the assassin. History lesson time. Warriors vaguely remembered, some gaps naturally. Back then, he summoned someone who could adapt to their dimension's conditions. This time, different plan brewing. His skill was already in motion, and the warrior wondered what kind of wild idea he was actually cooking up. Pun intended. One companion confirmed, They were headed to the dimension with the most delicious ingredients across all space and time. Yep, gourmet galore. Transporting them to a place perfectly suited to his skills conditions. Buckle up, idiots. The depraved one stood in a vast grassy field, staring out at the horizon like some brooding protagonist. Classic. Trap piped up, so where the hell did we get dropped this time? Straight to the point. Even the little hamburger started sweating, realizing that this might actually be dangerous. Big yikes. Above them, gigantic silhouettes loomed, overshadowing the protagonist's squad like a damn horror show. And there it was, a menacing-ass dragon. Yup, a brand new nightmare just showed up. The beast roared, ready to wage war, but the group, still holding their ground like stubborn idiots. Nara, predictably, was the only one scared out of her mind, while the others had seen enough monsters to be numb. Poor newbie. The creature readied its fiery assault. This was about to get real. Flames launched straight at the protagonist's team. Seriously, could this get any more cliché? The depraved one groaned internally, realizing he always ended up juggling ridiculous situations like this. Life's cruel. He slapped up his protective barrier just in time to block the attack. Smooth save. Time to hit back, payback's coming, dragon style. With a flick of his fingers, he launched a counterattack straight at the dragon. The result, catastrophic, absolutely savage. Because of course he hadn't bothered to control his strength. Total overkill. Pragmatically fixing his mess, he rewound time with his ability. Yep, he straight up reversed reality. Back to the moment when the dragon was still alive and menacing. Fresh start. He pondered the possibilities, thinking maybe he should just roast the dragon next time. Delicious thought. The dragon, finally realizing the chaos, asked him to chill for a sec and be reasonable. Reasonable dragon, new flex. And then in front of their eyes, the dragon morphed into human form. Big reveal energy. Its eyes were deep, serious, the kind that scream, "I mean business, dumbass." And somehow an ass got spared. Hamburger noticed the man's expression didn't match the words. Weird flex. Introducing Delicacies, 14th generation forest protector. He already knew these humans were sketchy and dangerous, hence the attack apology combo, polite but deadly. The pervert wasn't ready for anticlimax, and Delicacies, with all that power you're supposed to be the hero, oof, savage insult. The boy confirmed the narrative. Like duh, anyone could see he was destined for hero vibes. The dragon looked surprised, wondering if he might actually be the prophesied child. Prophecy hype. Backstory dump, this all happened 5,000 years ago. Classic dragon lore if you buy it. 5 days after the dual moon eclipse, 7 strangers appear through a pillar of light. Epic prophecy setup. Except count carefully, there were only 6 people. Clearly the dragon ignored the hamburger, rookie mistake. Meanwhile, the pervert assumed they'd be facing some demon king. Yeah, sure, classic anime logic. Dragon was shocked. The strangers already seemed to know the prophecy's details, plot twist vibes. Skipping the boring lore part, the boy asked what the tastiest food in the world was. Priorities, my dude. The dragon had zero clue how to respond to that abrupt pivot. Awkward. After a long, drawn-out explanation, they learned the continent's name. Ojigunia, home to 4 legendary delicacies. Fancy. First, a mystical flower blooming once every 1,000 years, boosting vitality and life by 10 years. Cheaty health buff. Next, the lava sea urchin. Apparently it once sparked full-blown wars, spicy backstory. Dragon eggs, considered the ultimate ingredient by many. Risky flex. And last, the meat of the paradise rabbit, cute but deadly. These 4 are the ultimate culinary treasures of this land. Drool-worthy. The pervert, speaking to a dragon, casually asked if he could lay some eggs. Yep, total audacity. Dragon wasn't impressed. Rude. Then he suggested summoning all the ingredients here at once. Ambitious idiot. He immediately made the items appear with his powers. The dragon tried to intervene. Chaos. Do not do this under any circumstances, the dragon barked. The pervert, what's the worst that could happen? Classic MC energy. The dragon explained, the law of urchin lies under the demon king's castle under insane pressure. Not messing around. Bringing it here would trigger instant annihilation. Boom, endgame. The pervert asked about the other ingredients. Dragon said no, they weren't rare without reason. Smart. The flower won't bloom for 30 years, paradise rabbits already extinct. The eggs, nope, never handing those over, deal breaker. After this rant, the pervert tried to calm him down, thinking they were supposed to be heroes. Reality check, nope. The pervert shrugged, fine, I'll save the world my way, fully expecting the dragon not to understand. Savage confidence. Even though he appreciated the dragon's help, the big lizard was left deep in thought. Yep, thinking hard like a freaking philosopher. He let out a long sigh, clearly trying to make sense of his own chaotic brain. Classic overthinker energy. If these guys were truly the prophecy crew, then it was his dragon duty to see it through. Responsibility much. He instructed them to go after the millennial flower and the lava sea urchin. Big quest vibes. When they reach the tree with the flowers, elves might lend a hand, assuming humans don't piss them off first. As for the lava sea urchin, it was lurking under the Demon King's castle. Dangerous, spicy, obvious death trap. And yes, the Demon King's army would absolutely be camping there. Fun times. Considering the team's strength, it might be doable, so naturally the dragon suggested starting with those first. Logical. The depraved one decided to split his squad to speed things up. Divide and conquer, baby. Nara, ever curious, asked which team he'd be joining. Bold move. He smirked, creating a copy of himself, confirming he'd be in both squads. Maximum efficiency, maximum chaos. The dragon blinked. Yep, this guy's flexing powers like it's no big deal. Impressive idiot. Task briefing complete, they were ready to roll, sort of. The crew heading to the tree, the pervert, warrior, assassin, Nara, and the dragon. Elite squad energy. Meanwhile, the Demon King Castle team, pervert, human hamburger, trap, injustice, death squad assembled. And off they went toward the elf forest, nature vibes. The pervert asked why the dragon wasn't joining the Demon King crew. Suspicious much. Clearly this enemy was terrifying and the dragon's poker face was unbeatable. Expression, zero, cool. They finally arrived, Elf City, Guardians of the World Tree. Cue a montage. The place, Sylvan Hill. Picturesque, serene, too perfect to survive a pervert squad. Nara was impressed by the beauty, while the pervert imagined this must be the legendary Norse-inspired tree. Chill, bro, calm down. Suddenly arrows flew straight at them, because of course drama. Pervert blocked them all effortlessly while the companions freaked out. Classic support squad panic. An elf commented that humans are tricky little pests, brave to show their faces here. Brutal. You won't make it out alive, he added, subtle. The dragon tried to intervene while the pervert noticed the village ran a neighborhood watch system. Smart, but terrifying. That's when the elf realized they were talking to the forest's guardian dragon. Instant respect. And that kid behind him, yup, prophecy boy, cue shocked elves. The elves struggled to believe that a human could possibly be the one. Stereotypes confirmed. The protagonist, naturally, was annoyed at watching humans getting shredded by prejudice. The elf doubled down, calling humans pathetic, sure the dragon had made a mistake. Ouch, savage insults incoming. Pervert asked if they already knew each other. Dragon explained, Beldor, prince and captain of the guard, high authority, big power trip. Convincing him would be a nightmare, dude's personality was complicated. Understatement of the century. Beldor naturally thought humans were filthy and stupid, shocker. But as he approached the group, his eyes caught the assassin. Oh boy. He got completely lost in her beauty. Immediate personality meltdown. The elf, previously arrogant as hell, now a slave to his own desires. Humble beginnings, nah. Passion overpowered pride, classic anime trope. Meanwhile, the protagonist's Demon King team arrived at the castle. Big energy, big danger. Standing before the gate, the pervert felt the tension, heart racing like he'd just chugged espresso. Their unexpected arrival didn't go unnoticed. Surveillance game strong. The Demon King found it interesting, plot thickening. Back in the forest, the pervert squad got a warm welcome. Hospitality, check. They were enjoying a delicious meal, comfort moment unlocked. Gratitude was high, but the pervert was unimpressed by dessert. Complainer alert. Assassin was genuinely savoring everything, while the elf patiently explained the fruit dish. Etiquette check. The dragon, impressed, thought this moment would be written in history. Big brain flex. Elf held the assassin's hands and promised help to fulfill the prophecy no matter what. Romance vibes, maybe. Pervert stepped in, shaking the elf's hand firmly, thanking him. Firm handshake equals respect. Announcing their mission, they'd come to acquire the millennial flower. Adventure unlocked. The elf was already fuming, snapping at the pervert to get his filthy hands off him. Chill, bro, it's just a handshake or not. The depraved one started feeling that familiar irritation bubbling, while Nara tried desperately to play the peacemaker. Cute effort. The prince announced grimly, no flowers left. Next bloom, 30 freaking years. Assassin politely asked if there really wasn't a single damn bloom left. Savage patience test. That's when our boy had the oh moment, maybe a little world tree meddling could fix this. Classic MC energy, chaos solves everything. That comment immediately turned the elves into berserk mode. Weapons up, faces twisted, instant panic. The dragon had to step in again, growling, chill idiots, lower your weapons before someone dies. He lectured them about mourning humans and sacred forest traditions. Basically, don't speak out of your ass. The pervert apologized, casually dropping that without the flowers, humanity was toast. Dramatic much. The prince doubted the kid's hero vibes, while the assassin, angelically polite, asked if there was any other way. Smooth. Now the elves were utterly mesmerized by her beauty. Instant chaos in elf minds. Prince tried and failed to compose himself, cute. He pointed out that the wisest and eldest among them might know more. Grandpa flex incoming. They met the old man who promptly declared, flowers, gone long gone, impossible to find, oof. Last bloom 1,000 years ago, yeah, they were screwed. His advice, be patient, wait 30 more years. They had 1 week. Bad news, everyone. He bragged about drinking tea made from those flowers when he was young, claiming he still tasted it like yesterday. Total show-off. The taste, divine, forest blessed. Basically chef-level holy vibes, stored flowers, amazing, fresh flowers, mind-blowing. Old man couldn't stop flexing. Humans doubted if he was truly the wisest guy alive. Red flag. He warned them to stay away from the tree until it was clear they were the chosen ones. Staff made from a branch of the world tree. Pay attention, idiots. The prince, secretly impressed, realized his master still understood human prejudice. Respect grudgingly earned. The old man kept flaunting the staff, annoying much. That's when the depraved one snatched it from his hands. Absolute savage move. Prince lost his mind, warrior shouted, "Don't do that," classic chaos. But with that piece of wood, the pervert unleashed his uncontrollable growth ability. Bye-bye staff, hello tree. What was a staff instantly transformed into a full-grown tree. Everyone's jaws hit the floor. Elves naturally were losing it. They love that tree like it's their firstborn. Our protagonist decided to gift a second tree. Double the chaos, double the flex. The ancient elves had zero clue how this was possible. Time manipulation, reality bending, yeah, no big deal. They wanted confirmation. Did it really bloom once every 1,000 years? Flowers bloomed all over the new tree, countless blooms, insane. Pervert officially recognized as the hero of the prophecy. Bow down, peasants. He had literally sped up time inside the Tower of Challenge. 1,000-year bloom, child's play. Old man fell to his knees, witnessing history, legendary flex. Even the racist elf captain, speechless, absolute savage. They all witnessed a miracle, only gods could do this, and the pervert, he just shrugged. Meanwhile, our boy started worrying about how the other team was doing, of course. Fear of a bad outcome creeping in, classic overthinker. If a fierce battle was happening, even the human hamburger had been recruited. Poor dude. Demonic creature had a gaping hole in its chest. Yeah, defeated, obviously. By something it couldn't even explain, hamburger sighed, too weak. Bro, thanks for the insight. Sandwich brag mode activated and our protagonist agreed it was pretty cool. Savage teamwork. Justice and Trap watched, deep secondhand embarrassment. Cue anime facepalms. Castle gates finally opened. Dramatic music, please. A demon general appeared claiming his guard could solo 10 dragons. Big ego flex. He was intrigued by these visitors. Finally, some recognition. The defeated one, weakest of the 4 generals, obvious. Meanwhile, protagonist team's hamburger, definitely the weakest, brutal honesty. General was caught off guard, didn't expect a savage roast in return. He wanted to see if the boy would keep that confidence in his face. Bold move. But the pervert already knew he'd been frustrated and humiliated. Mic drop energy. Trap casually drops, something fun might happen, and throws her hand up to fight, telling the others to step aside. The protagonist shivers like he just saw a ghost or, a decent challenge. He snapped at her not to toss around death sentences like they were TikTok trends. Seriously, chill. The general flat out called everyone a bunch of morons. And naturally, they ignored him like he was background noise in a low-budget anime. Without skipping a beat, he lunged at the protagonist's squad, but Trap blocked it like a total savage. She realized her buddies didn't need saving. The general was already toast. They were low-key hoping the Demon King would actually make them sweat a bit. Stepping inside, the darkness was so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. The pervert immediately asked if the next general was already waiting. Classic idiot move. Until, of course, he started hearing a super creepy rattling noise. A chained-up figure waltzed in and said, "Thanks for showing up." Yeah, thanks for what, dying first. She dropped the line that they'd made it all the way to the Demon King's castle, but this would be the end of the line. Talk about buzzkill. She was basically a walking scythe of chains. But before her face could even show up on someone's bad phone wallpaper, Trap erased her from existence like a savage. Apparently, she was already tired of weaklings running into her. Big mood. Also, she was bored out of her freaking mind, like existentially bored. Justice was in the same boat, losing her mind over all these constellations, failed lifeforms. Seriously, the universe is wild. That's when the pervert finally had a brainwave. Only cosmic-level freaks could actually put up a fight. Until a new voice piped up, "You really think that?" Yeah, cue ominous music. The protagonist sensed major sus vibes immediately. The girl they had defeated, yeah, she's back on her feet, surprise, idiot. And so were the 2 demon generals they thought were done for. Classic anime deception. A masked demon boomed that this was his power. He's basically the overpowered general of undead armies. Yep, top-tier nightmare material. Ordering the humans to kneel, the hamburger dude squints. Is this some ugly magic trick or... Bro, that's not a trick, that's death incarnate. Juggling multiple abilities, the pervert realized, oh crap, this is bad news. Against that general, he dropped dimensional banishment like it was a hot take on Twitter. And the same technique hit every newly revived minion. The general quickly went from badass to begging like a scared child. The pervert hoped they'd find peace in the void, savage, brutal, and polite. Now it's go time, lava sea urchin awaits, because that's why they even bothered coming here. Walking forward, the pervert's patience starts evaporating. Boredom hits him, destination still MIA. Until bam, they bump straight into the Demon King himself. Yeah, no small potatoes. Super hyped, he's like, let's end this quick, but Justice notices some funky vibes. She tells everyone to hold up, already suited up and looking ready to stomp. Meanwhile, the Demon King casually orders everyone to dinner. Nope, this is not a drill. The pressure is insane, crushing all but Justice, who somehow stays upright. Savage levels 100. Feeling the raw energy, the pervert asks, oh, what the hell is that? Justice gets hit with deja vu. Wait, why am I even here? The answer comes straight up obvious. That's her castle. Enter the constellation of war, big boss energy. Before entering the Demon King's fortress, the dragon tried to explain the generals. The pervert cuts in, nah, ruins all the fun. Hamburger dude thinks the dragon is low-key impressed by this hero's antics. Dragon sums it up in one savage line. The Demon King is ridiculously strong. For thousands of years, heroes have come and gone trying to off him. And yeah, all of them ended in absolute failure, none even sniffed victory. Despite being op, he never touched human lands, a fact our overconfident protagonist expected. Who's already strutting around thinking, I got this, classic MC energy. But reality check, he's currently staring down a ridiculously strong enemy. He turns to Justice, do you even know this dude? She confirms it's the constellation of war, one of the Zodiac 12's top dogs, not a guy you mess with. Because of him, constellation fights are permanently banned. Naturally, the pervert wonders why the hell he's pretending to be the Demon King here. Absolute chaos energy. The constellation of war noticed the pervert's curiosity and leaned in like, you really want to know why I'm here? The answer, shockingly simple, dude just straight up loves war. No philosophy, no hidden agenda, just chaos for fun, big yikes. Constellation Council rules say he can't jump into fights directly, so he had to get creative. Bureaucracy meets apocalypse. He cooked up an entire planet where every faction just keeps slugging it out forever. Hardcore world-building vibes. Sitting back, he watches his little soap opera armies go at it, and he's grinning like a maniac. Pure savage energy. And the best part, all that war horror feeds him energy, more than any boring-ass dimension could ever produce. Naturally, he slapped on the title Demon King to flex and run that chaotic playground. Our protagonist, he hates the way these constellations treat life like it's just a board game. Rage mode ON. He's decided no matter the cost that guy's getting obliterated. Absolute determination unlocked. The constellation of war, skeptical, this puny human can't do shit. Classic underestimation energy. But our boy's no joke, he just snagged a reward for surviving the constellation of wrath. Big power-up unlocked. Level 2 Ascension hit, hair's now blue because of course. Blue equals main character energy period. Now he can wield divine abilities and see the battlefield unfold. He thought he could handle it, but LOL, divine judgment is already raining down. He conjured several winged beings like some kind of anime summoner. They dive at the constellation like bolts of lightning, electrifying, pun intended. The war entity casually throws up a shield, no sweat, blocking all the attacks from actually hitting him. Smooth but annoying as hell. Our pervert's jaw hits the floor. This is some next-level light attribute nonsense. Yeah, impressive, everything but the constellation itself, obliterated. The weapon turn shield, now a spear in NT's hands, flex move unlocked. Demon King rises from his throne, all regal and intimidating. He's been waiting for the prophecy hero. Big boss entrance vibes. Hearing about a human who could even touch a constellation intrigued him. Now the legend is standing right in front of him. Cue hype music. Time to test his strength until Justice casually interrupts, hold up, savage timing. She reminds them they're mid-trial of the constellation of gastronomy, he can't interfere. Rules are rules, even for cosmic overlords. The constellation nods, no intention to interfere since they came barging into his domain. Respect the house rules, folks. Justice's words trigger a memory, he decides to chill and put the spear away. Tactical retreat surprisingly. Fun Constellation had said something earlier, oh yeah, everyone's curious about the pervert. Big brain social experiment. He recalls everyone wants to test him, collect the best Naj entropy, nerd flex but terrifying. But no matter how op he is, if all constellations tag team him, human extinction no cap. That's why fairness is mandatory, no 0-second executions. Order matters, constellations showing interest first get their shot, not favoritism, just efficiency. He asks if anyone objects, crickets, silence is golden and savage. Thrilled, he notes unanimous agreement, ego boost 100. Constellation of War checks the list, he's at the back. Member 389, classic last place vibes. Justice clarifies they're here just for ingredients from that dimension. Demon King's mind blown. As ruler of that dimension, he can literally make anything, yet they still need stuff. Chaos meets logistics. Our protagonist is immediately shook. Power levels equals terrifying. They requested Lovacy urchins. Demon King asks how many. Pervert, a lot, big brain answer. The constellation snaps his fingers and boom, creatures materialize in front of them. Instant satisfaction. He asks if anything else is needed. Predictably, our boy goes wild. Dragon eggs and paradise rabbits, please. And just like that, a ridiculous pile of items appears. Anime magic flexed. The sheer scale impresses the pervert. He realizes some beings are way stronger than he imagined. Humbling much. War constellation huffs, hurry up, trial S coming, no time to lollygag. Our boy pauses, deep in thought, plotting mischief like a little gremlin. With a cheeky grin, he agrees, yep, this guy is chaos incarnate. Promises to return for a proper duel one day, thanking Demon King for his cooperation. Mad respect energy. As they exit, the constellation mutters a half-hearted wish. Don't die during the trials. Good luck, buddy. Our pervert smirks, knowing survival is part of the fun. Savage confidence unlocked. Stepping out, the team leaves the dimension behind, but the shadow of the trials lingers like an ominous TikTok trend nobody asked for. Our protagonist just asked for a minute, internally thinking how ridiculously lucky he was. Luck, more like skill on steroids. Back in the forest, he studied the tree he had grown, eyes gleaming like a kid in a candy store. He was pissed he'd only discovered something so insanely delicious now. Everyone who tasted those petals agreed it was literally worth living just for that bite. Absolute chef's kiss energy. If it already tasted that good raw cooked, bro, forget about it. Culinary orgasm incoming. While everyone was having emotional food moments, someone called out. And no, it wasn't an Uber Eats delivery. It was the second team, fresh off completing all the required items, including the rabbit rocking a legit outfit. Fashion icon level, rabbit. Talking to himself, our protagonist was low-key impressed he actually pulled it off. Against all odds, savage. The dragon raised an eyebrow, asking where the hell he got all those eggs. No cheat codes, just skill. And for a moment, our boy celebrated alone, performing a very specific handshake only he understood. Peak anime protagonist behavior. Nobody expected him to actually gather everything, yet here we are, legendary flex. Time to regroup. Dragon skeptical the Demon King's really gone, and the old racist kept insisting he always believed in him. Cute if annoying. Trap tried the pedal and immediately got emotional, tears of joy rolling down like she just unlocked a hidden achievement. Meanwhile, the prophecy hero was getting hyped by everyone. Cheers, claps, dramatic anime soundtrack included. They all believed he defeated the Demon King, something he absolutely planned to do soon anyway. Savage timing. Looking at the mountain of ingredients, the warrior had no clue what to do next. Panic mode engaged. She glanced at the old racist who knew zero recipes, only the history of his people and offensive comments. Thanks, Grandpa. As the teams cooked, Tybalt, who showed up at the worst possible time, the warrior felt insane pressure. Stress levels off the charts. But the dragon suggested consulting the city's top chef. Genius, game changer. He wasn't sure, but the royal chef had probably used all those ingredients before. Jackpot. Justice nodded in agreement and the pervert was hyped. Good idea, big yes. Time to find that chef, he said, eyes on the dragon like let's roll. Adventure time, baby. Dragon looked intimidated, guide duty again. Sigh, anime sidekick energy. They flew on the dragon's back, ingredients secured, heading for the next city like a squad of legends. The pervert was pumped to reach the royal palace, hype levels over 9,000. City life went on as usual until a man looked up and freaked out. Birds that big, no thanks. Stranger still, a kid called it an airplane. Yeah, okay kiddo, sure, classic kids say dumb stuff moment. His dad said airplanes only existed in legends, totally ignoring the approaching dragon. Ignorance equals bliss until panic hits. Panic spreads like wildfire. This, not a plane, not a bird, definitely terrifying. A massive dragon lands, crew riding its back like some insane mobile fortress. Anime power flex unlocked. People confused as hell, the pervert casually clarifies, it's a super dragon, legendary understatement. After hopping off, he asks if this city is the capital, because honestly it looks straight out of another world. Big mood. From this point on, the dragon chills. Hero doesn't want to meet the king yet. Smart move, no unnecessary drama. He warns the hero to be cautious, hinting at the king's complicated nature. Subtle foreshadowing unlocked. But hero hates spoilers and the warrior notes that. Dragon smirks, you'll see soon enough. Mystery intact. Grateful for all the help, the pervert thanks the dragon and hopes to meet again. Proper respect energy. Dragon bows honored to assist the prophecy hero. Big anime-ass moment. Promises they'll meet again, cinematic flair fully engaged. Seeing a man and his son, the pervert asks to borrow a wheelbarrow. Road trip continues, belongings in tow. The hamburger announces the hero's arrival in the city. Girls embarrassed to death, classic. Assassin notices everyone staring, clueless as to why. Hot chaos energy activated. After all the commotion, a new group demands attention. Cue drama. Classic bandits show up, yelling at the heroes to hand over everything. Stereotype level 1000. Hinira recognizes this trope immediately. Yep, totally predictable. Bandits try to scare them further, threatening lives like they're in a low-budget RPG cutscene. Bald bandit stunned by assassin's beauty. Peak anime distraction. Dumbest bandit admits he likes the unique woman. Okay buddy, that's your hill to die on. Trap releases murderous intent. Everyone freaks out. Terror meter maxed. The pervert only asks that no one dies. Hero with heart, even while chaotic. Bandit, tired of being ignored, is about to yell when he gets obliterated. Didn't see it coming. Classic idiot move. Trap annihilates him and his gang, leaving a trail of devastation. Pain delivered, savage as fuck. Trap was already over this life, thinking about dropping it all and reincarnating somewhere better. Mood legendary. Citizens who saw the chaos were shook, mouths agape at how fast the bandits got obliterated. One muttered they saw people riding a dragon, and yeah, the prophecy hero was front and center. Big flex energy. After that stunt, the people officially crowned them the heroes of prophecy. Mic drop. Now the pervert could do whatever he wanted. Chaos mode activated. He scattered petals from the world tree across the city, leaving behind a trail of aesthetic destruction. Townsfolk went absolutely wild, praising him. Hero energy maxed. News traveled fast, royal castle style. Apparently city gossip still beats Twitter. An informant bowed before His Majesty, reporting that this self-proclaimed hero was demanding an audience. Bold move. King had a piece of meat halfway to his throat, totally absorbed in eating. Priorities, am I right? He called the request ridiculous and said to send the hero packing. Ego level massive. The messenger countered, pointing out the group brought 4 of the world's greatest delicacies. Now we're talking. The king finally lifted more than his eyebrow, curiosity plus real interest. Jackpot. If true, the hero's crew needed to be brought before him ASAP. No excuses. Once inside the hall, the pervert politely asked permission to enter. Charm level 100. Hiding his true intentions, the king asked why they'd come. Subtle, sneaky king energy. The pervert replied he needed the royal chef's help. No big deal yet. The royalty agreed, but with a catch. They had to hand over all the delicacies. Classic greedy monarch. The pervert hadn't seen that coming and groaned. This was gonna be tough. Refusing, guards ready. Advisor tried to intervene, saying, hey, it's the hero's group. King, too greedy to care, ordered the advisor to shut up. Brutal. Guards lined up, ready to obey murderous orders. Yikes. Men were to die, women enslaved. Absolute nightmare. Any crown, guards prep for combat, pure chaos. Finally, the pervert got it. This kingdom was a dumpster fire. No wonder the streets were hell. He immediately turned to Trap, team energy coordinated. Asking her not to kill anyone, mercy levels surprisingly high. Trap, ready to annihilate, actually liked the limitation. Savage restraint. Guards charged furiously at the hero squad. Big mistake. Trap unleashed full power while the pervert smirked. Those guards picked the wrong team to mess with. Rookie error. Sword swung, crushed, brutally, no survivors, instant regret. Royal guard sent flying, king's face, priceless disbelief, his elite soldiers, garbage. After wiping them out, the pervert strolled toward the king. Confidence level peak. Maybe it was time to grab the crown for himself. Why not? Hero energy unlocked. Declaring the human hamburger the new king. Yeah, this actually happened. Absolute savage flex. Bald Kane, utter humiliation, begging for life. Hamburger king, bragging like a legend. Joke level chef special. With negotiations over, pervert demanded the head chef appear. Order given, world reacts. Former king instructed his servant to comply. Chaos unfolds. Watching all this, the pervert realized, yeah, hopeless situation, but fun hopeless. Until the messenger brought a frail man low, the royal chef. Drama energy peak. Seeing him like that, pervert asked why he looked so miserable. Skeptic mode activated. Former king explained, lazy, poor but talented. Advisor exploded with rage, calling out how the pig king exploited him endlessly. Brutal truth. Furious, king turned on advisor, calling him ungrateful. Peak narcissist. Pervert had seen enough. Disgust levels maxed. Former king absolute trash. Revolting in every sense. Hamburger king thoughts, goodbye loser. That man banished to another dimension. 2 portals open, no escape. Despicable existence sent screaming into the void. Karma delivered. Begging for mercy, cute, but the portal closed anyway. Instant regret. Pervert mused, a lot just happened. Fun factor 10/10. Now only one thing left to do. Epic finale vibes. But the cook was exhausted, clearly not in any shape to start working. mood, peak exhaustion. And somehow the fate of humanity was now riding on this dude. No pressure, right? That poor servant of the crown, completely drained, looking like he'd run a marathon through hell. Waking up, he was terrified, fully expecting the king to come down on him like a meat hammer. That's when the pervert stepped in, chill as hell, assuring him there was zero reason to panic. But trauma is trauma. Cook immediately tried to hustle back to work. Heaven forbid the king get hangry. Pervert clarified, relaxed, the tyrant king was history. And yes, that tiny talking hamburger on his shoulder was now ruler of the nation. Q chef's jaws hitting the floor. Hamburger King immediately gave his first royal decree: make something insanely delicious with all this stuff. Cook barely blinked, seeing the supposedly extinct rabbits chilling in front of him in that cart, overflowing with global delicacies. Insanity. Pervert's command: use every single ingredient, zero excuses. Cook hesitated for a hot second, probably questioning his life choices. But the warrior hopped in, apron ready, determined to assist. Team synergy unlocked. Illustrator joined in, flexing her apron skills like she was born to wear it. Both poised for culinary battle. This was war with cutlery. Onions were chopped like soldiers begging for mercy. Brutal kitchen energy. Sea urchin sauce in progress. Some old-timer who tasted it before scoffed it wasn't being done the right way. Whatever, rules are for losers. Rabbit legs processed, but the warrior felt guilty for the adorable victims. Sorry, tiny fluffballs. Dragon eggs needed cracking, obviously, not like gently, like boss-level cracking. And behold, the first one, just a normal egg. Talk about anticlimactic. The kitchen chaos was insane, but when all was said and done, the results screamed absolute mastery. Mission complete. Meanwhile, in another room, the rest of the crew was casually destroying souls in poker. Multitasking level pro. A cup of the finished creation was brought over for sampling. One bite and the verdict was unanimous. Best recipe on the planet, no contest. Mere sight of it had the new king and pervert frozen in awe. Blink and you'd miss it. And yet, it was just an omelet, looked ordinary, total troll moment. Inside, sautéed petals, grilled rabbit, all wrapped in dragon egg omelet bathed in sea urchin sauce. Chef level, legendary. The aroma alone could kill. Nura chickened out at first, smart. Warrior had sneakily tasted it while cooking, confirmed divine, no exaggeration. Time for the ultimate judges to weigh in, stakes cosmic. Trap and pervert were ready to inhale this masterpiece. Battle mode, tasting edition. First bite went straight to the protagonist, destiny incoming. Shockwaves of flavor hit him like a freight train, taste buds obliterated. He felt like he'd been dead all along, finally resurrected by the power of food. Existential crisis triggered. His body transported across dimensions, NBD. There he accessed the fundamental reason we even exist. Plot twist, it's in food. The meaning of life served on a plate via omelet, mind blown. Overwhelmed, tears streamed. Even he couldn't believe paradise could taste this good. Emotion overload, soul melted, taste buds immortalized. Felt like wandering Elysian fields, eternity itself waiting in delicious suspense. Comfort and enlightenment in a single bite, literal chef wizardry. The beauty was so overpowering he forgot he existed, ego terminated. Life had reached peak perfection, can't even. Ineffable experience fully delivered through that omelet. Michelin vibes, 1,000 stars. Once again, the boy was moved beyond comprehension. While traveling through that flavor cosmos, he encountered a magnificent entity, big plot energy. She cradled him like a child, divine maternal energy, maxed. Sharing immense love all while he was mid-omelet, mind blown x2. Truly an experience for the ages, culinary enlightenment achieved. Pervert confirmed, absolutely perfect, no complaints. Nara agreed, divine level, every taster ecstatic. Only one thing left, thank the cook who orchestrated all this. Pervert now mentally ready to face the Constellation challenge. Cook, eternally grateful his nation survived, all systems go. After grinding through all that chaos, the pervert gently lays the cook down for a nap like he's tucking in a toddler. Damn, what a weirdo. He casually asks if everyone's ready to head back, like this is a leisurely picnic and not a death trap. Because yep, now they're marching straight into the culinary nightmare known as the Constellation of Gastronomy. No pressure, idiots. The sister, realizing they aren't total scrubs, prepares to shove them into that constellation's dimension. Hope they packed snacks. The pervert's counting on the warrior's chef skills. Big brain move or just another disaster waiting to happen, you decide. After surviving this chaotic journey, the crew is actually feeling a bit more confident. Miracles do happen, apparently. They march toward the challenge, while some mysterious dude creeps in the background, staring at the cook passed out on the floor. Creepy much. The heroes group, yeah them. They get dumped into a pitch-black dimension where you can't see jack. Perfect, nothing could go wrong here. The warrior starts panicking, and our protagonist lights up the place with some illumination ability. Classic, let's fix everything last-second energy. The constellation notices and is actually impressed by their speed. Shockingly, someone acknowledges effort. She's itching to taste the food but warns it better not be the usual boring crap. Got it, no bland BS allowed. Taking a page from the Fun Advice Handbook, she whips up something unexpected, making everyone on the hero's team blink in disbelief. Nice flex, seriously. Turns out they're about to compete in a cooking showdown, because why not? The universe loves suffering. For a second, the heroes are totally lost, while the depraved one is pissed off at the constellation of fun. Typical. The entity in front of them casually asks if they remember the rules. Yeah, like that's gonna help. The challenge, cook a recipe that actually satisfies her. And yes, they have to gather every single ingredient themselves, sucks to be them. No take-backs, no loopholes, deal with it. Before she can lecture more, she teleports other people into the dimension. Great, more competition, wonderful. Each newcomer reps their own world and brings gourmet-level dishes. Pressure much, you bet. If our protagonist's dish isn't top tier, she won't be impressed. So basically, fail equals shame spiral. Nero whines about unfair rule changes, but the depraved one just shrugs. He saw this chaos coming and Loki loves it, savage. He promises they'll cook the tastiest dish on the entire freaking planet. Big words, hope you can deliver. The constellation reveals she's been eyeballing a particular chef all along. Oh. Points at a dude snoozing in the kitchen with a rabbit on his head. Yep, not weird at all. Realizing this is the chef behind their key ingredients, panic sets in. This guy's basically holding their fate in a fluffy headband. The depraved one asks the system where their ingredients went. Meanwhile, the warrior is just staring like, bro, seriously. No clue what to do next, they're screwed. That cook, he's a beast. No, really, don't underestimate him. A dish that looks like fish jelly is presented as the star of some high-class clam meeting. Yeah, this is peak culinary elitism. Apparently, it's even better with earth jelly and the constellation is ready to approve. Suspense much. She tastes the dish with zero bias. Props for professionalism, I guess. And she actually says it's delicious. Cue shocked creator of the dish. Then she drops critique, not cooked properly. Ouch, harsh but fair. The cook fails and gets obliterated. Next dish time, the other cooks are now sweating bullets. The Hamburger King realizes, damn, these punishments are brutal. Too much, seriously. Even the cook tied to the hero's team starts apologizing. Classic panic mode. The constellations declare no ingredient sharing. Yep, that rule just killed teamwork. Hero outrage incoming. Nara reminds them the ingredients were gathered by their team, and the cook laments being unable to repay the favor. Sad violin time. He regrets everything unfolding like this. Understandable. The depraved one knows they need a strategy. The constellation just threw them into this mess. Typical. He plots his words while she annihilates another cook. Multitasking level, genius or idiot, both. Ingredients gone, he sighs, nothing to be done. The entity asks if they weren't ready. Thanks for rubbing it in. They get a little extra time, but the depraved one thinks this is a total joke. Like, seriously, universe. Meanwhile, the constellation of gastronomy says she'll taste their dish once done. Justice has to calm the protagonist down. Good luck. The warrior suggests summoning ingredients, but she won't have it. Only what they collect personally counts. No cheating allowed, apparently. Summoning or magic copying ingredients equals instant fail. Cool, thanks for clarity. Every attempt feels harder than the last. They need a plan, fast. Nara suggests a time reversal trick, but the depraved one confirms constellations are immune. Figures. That's when a wild, borderline insane idea sparks in his head. Yeah, things are about to get spicy. Somehow he catches a glimpse of the path to victory, like a light bulb flicking on over his idiotically overworked head. He spills his brilliant idea to the team, while the constellation of gastronomy continues obliterating dishes like it's her full-time hobby. Travato casually drops that sometimes brute-forcing things is fun, and yeah, apparently risky chaos is a thrill. Classic MC energy. He pivots to Justice and says he's got a question for her. Plot twist incoming. The next dish the constellation is about to sample, pure minerals. Yeah, not even kidding. She doesn't even taste it, just vaporizes the cook. Brutal, no mercy, no chill. As time ticks by, more and more poor souls get erased from existence. Rest in pieces, culinary dreams. Every single cook looks utterly hopeless, like someone just told them life's a scam. Nothing they whipped up pleases her and she's starting to look disappointed. Bite me, universe. But suddenly she perks up, spotting that special chef's dish. Oh, here we go. She wonders if it's made from dragon eggs or some over-the-top fantasy crap. The chef casually claims it's the world's most delicious omelet. Big talk, pal. She nods, acknowledging his audacity. Yep, confidence is everything, apparently. The chef gives credit where it's due. He only made it thanks to the hero group's help. Wholesome-ish. She digs in, immediate judgment time. Her face freezes into something unreadable. Even the gods can't meme this one. Then she declares it perfect. Literally perfect. Name of the dish, spot on, world's best omelet confirmed. She calls the chef a serious contender for victory. Cue massive hero hype. Other cooks, desperation mode activated. Everyone panic exe. She keeps praising the dish and asks where he got the ingredients. Suspense, drama, chef anxiety all rolled into one. Summoning courage like a true hero, the chef bows out of the competition. Nah, can't do it, conscience screaming. He didn't gather the ingredients solo, so moving forward would be pure fraud. Respect. The constellation tries to scare him with want to be obliterated. Threat, classic. That's when the depraved one steps in, claiming those ingredients are hers. Mic drop energy. No matter what, Ian and his team will win this. Confidence so extra it scares the freaking Hamburger King. The cook is left speechless and the constellations look genuinely intrigued. Someone just shook up the cosmic system. She realizes it makes zero sense to vaporize such a talented chef. Duh. Hours of brutal competition tick by. Time for tears, sweat, and seasoning. Only 8 cooks remain from the original 100. Yeah, that's how savage this is. But wait, there's still one last team, the final boss basically. Humanity's reps haven't even started cooking yet. Oh, the irony. She approaches them, asking why the heck they haven't even touched the stove. Bold move. The depraved one replies they followed every rule to the letter, every annoying restriction. Beat that. And now they're about to lay down their own conditions. The constellation assumes bluff, rookie mistake. If fear of extinction was the reason, she's deeply disappointed. Too bad, baby. Then the depraved one casually asks if she's actually the constellation of cuisine. Bold, savage. And if she's even qualified to taste proper, flavorful food. Shade maximum. She claims that's literally her entire reason for existing, wondering if this boy actually doubts her. Ego alert. She says extinction isn't enough punishment for him. Nope, needs a lesson harsher than death itself. Declares she'll hunt humanity, cook them, and devour them to extinction. Yep, that escalated quickly. Justice freezes, realizing the depraved one's plan is off the charts insane. He drops a condition: she can taste their dish only if she becomes human. Yep, that's the twist. She would have to give up her status as a constellation. Cue rage. She's instantly offended. Who wouldn't be? Ego check failed. The depraved one confirms constellations can voluntarily give up their immortal glory. Humans 1, gods 0. Immortals can't grasp the essence of food anyway. Big yikes. Matri's a savage. Tasty rabbits don't stand a chance against anything bigger than them. Realistic. Only as a human could she truly taste that dish and feel every nuance. Life itself in flavor form. Because that, my friends, is the actual taste of life. Deep, dark culinary philosophy. This mind-blowing proposal makes the team uneasy. Heartbeat, exe maxed out. Meanwhile, the constellation of gastronomy starts smiling. The kind that makes you wonder if you're about to die from sheer intimidation. She grudgingly agrees to submit, because apparently even a god-tier ego can bend at least for a hot second. After all, she's been challenged on whether she actually gets the essence of a meal. Ego check, incoming. She becomes human for a brief moment, but don't get it twisted. The challenge rules stay brutally intact. And try to attack her while she's human. Boom, challenge immediately ends. Justice is on duty to keep it fair, no exceptions, idiots. The constellation of gastronomy radiates supreme confidence, and the warrior nervously asks the depraved one if this insane plan is really okay. Spoiler, it's perfect. This is literally the golden opportunity the depraved one's been waiting for. Patience equals chaos unlocked. One of them is about to bid farewell to divine powers. Dramatic, heck yes. She confirms she'll remain human for just a sliver of time. Tick-tock, immortality paused. The boy casually strolls over and remarks she looks exhausted. Smooth flex. He uses the moment to reverse time, leaving the poor constellation completely baffled. Magic 100, common sense 0. Normally this wouldn't affect a constellation. Lol, powerless moments are rare. But she gave up her powers voluntarily and suddenly nothing can protect her from the trick. Savage. The depraved one's plan is executing flawlessly on both fronts. Genius or chaos, both. After that little power play, they march into the forest. Suspense engaged. She asks where she's being taken. He smirks and says, "You'll understand soon enough." Drama maxed out. A dragon appears on the horizon. Finally, epic vibes equals activated. The colossal creature lands with authority, making her genuinely terrified. First human fear achieved. The depraved one calls it Delicacies. She's confused. How the hell does a human know its name? Suspicious much. Nara finally realizes they've indeed gone back in time. Mind blown. He orders the dragon to transform into a human because the hero of prophecy has arrived, while the now human constellation trembles. Stakes insanely high. Justice reassures her she won't be harmed. Cute, but can it be trusted? The depraved one confirms harm isn't happening unless she's not willing to risk it all for amazing food. Threat level insane. Being the constellation of gastronomy, she promises she's genuinely willing to discover human cuisine. Curiosity activated. The protagonist tells her to trust him completely, voice low and threatening, thinking to himself that she's about to regret everything. Epic intimidation check. The constellation is lying on the ground, exhausted, utterly distressed, ego gone. She's doing sit-ups but has zero idea why. Classic confused MC moment. The depraved one tells her to focus on her attitude, while the dragon basically becomes her personal drill sergeant. Savage mentoring. The warrior points out she's never done military service and that they should all be grateful to real soldiers while whining about training. Reality check served cold. She still doesn't understand how any of this relates to cooking. MC confusion peak levels. The depraved one asks if she's questioning orders. Bad idea, immediate regret, exe. She quickly regrets her decisions. Lesson learned, obey or suffer. She continues physical exercises, pushing herself to the limit. Pain equals progress. Once she can't stand anymore, she collapses quietly on the ground. Dramatic exhaustion achieved. The depraved one immediately approaches, asking if she's awake. Creepy efficiency equals max. She warns that if the food isn't perfect, he's already dead and doesn't even know it. Dark humor check. Seeing her energy spike, it's time to resume training. Torture continues. She spots magic and begs for a pause, but her request is ignored. Tough love anime edition. Now she's hanging from a rope. Only her grip strength keeps her alive. Good luck. She dangles from the world tree, finally starting to understand the madness. Orders, climb and snatch flowers, deadly. She still doesn't get why she has to do this task. Survival equals optional, nope. Extremely risky, a single slip equals almost certain death. Stakes equals insane. Justice reassures her that she'll find a way to save her. Comfort level minimal. The warrior thinks it's too much, but the depraved one disagrees. Seeing her suffer equals pure entertainment, savage. She keeps struggling to climb the rope, and the depraved one realizes this will take a full day. Endurance maxed. After epic effort, she finally grabs one of the flowers. Reward, immediate taste test. It's far more delicious than she imagined. Flavor equals over 9,000. Finally, after all the suffering, she experiences a moment of true pleasure. Temporary happiness unlocked. But the flower is snatched from her immediately, needed for their dish. Heartbreak exe. The depraved one now holds the key ingredient, and the challenge marches on. Survival plus cooking is ultimate combo. The constellation swore she'd kill him on the spot, but Justice had to play rule cop. No threatening participants, dumbass. The depraved one confirmed there was still work to do, and the constellation started wondering when they'd actually cook. Patience diva. Meanwhile, in the Demon King's castle, thunder rolled across the sky like God was hyped on drama. And a laugh erupted so loud it basically shattered the fourth wall. Savage. The constellation of Warsaw was messing with gastronomy, and she found the situation hilarious. Human life, temporary, ego, eternal. Spotting the man on the throne, she wondered why the constellation of war was even there, and the depraved one told her to bow and ask politely. Elmau sure. She really didn't want to, and he reminded her that the ingredients belonged to that dude. Respect the kitchen or die. The constellation of war wanted the challenge over fast, so he decided to have fun. Chaos level unlocked. This scared gastronomy to her core when she had to ask for the ingredients. Classic holy crap I'm human panic. Naturally, they were handed over immediately. No fuss, no mercy. Now the protagonists had everything they needed for the recipe. Jackpot. Time to cook that glorious dish. Stakes insanely high. That statement literally lit a fire under the constellation. Excitement activated. She finally realized she was actually looking forward to tasting the recipe again. OMG moment unlocked. Meanwhile, the depraved one was ready to fast forward this chaos. Patience level 0. Poof vanished from the war constellation's hall like a ghost. Smooth. Left alone in the castle, boredom hit hard, dramatic much. And then chaos voiceover, all of them have the end. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. That's it for me. See you next time. Bye 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 bye. Excessive, absolutely, but it's anime. All of them went to the royal palace. Procession mandatory. The depraved one didn't expect to meet that king again, meaning he had to beat the guards once more. Fun times. The fool baked it and saw the crown on that hamburger's head. Small paradox, hell yes. Continuing the chaos, Tyra was banished to the void. Mic drop. The rest of the task fell on the team's warrior, an excellent cook, but the constellation looked distraught. Drama incoming. The warrior noticed immediately. Observation level peak. Arriving at the kitchen, they found the cook napping. Again, exhaustion equals real. Just like last time, he was completely drained from work. Classic overachiever. Carefully stepping past him, the warrior said she'd need to use the kitchen. Permission granted-ish. While waiting, the constellation of gastronomy complained she was starving and didn't understand why they were screwing around. Rude, but relatable. Finally, the recipe was complete. Holy crap moment engaged. And the constellation couldn't hide her anticipation. Hunger equals real. Trying to compose herself, she said she'd judge the dish as a human, but only if dressed properly. Ego rules strict. After all that suffering, she promised if it wasn't delicious, they'd regret it. Threat equals real. For a brief moment, the warrior felt legit intimidated. Respect the chef. She asked what dish it was, suspense maxed out. Before answering, the dish was gently presented. Drama equals peak. It was a new recipe, the best design on the planet. Culinary flex confirmed. She thought the combination of ingredients was perfect, but the constellation of astronomy didn't care. Hunger equals louder. Priorities, am I right? Explanation continued, but for the first time ever, the constellation's extreme hunger drove her actions. Pure survival mode. She was ready to taste it, and the warrior realized the best dish is the one that satisfies real hunger. Lesson learned. Fine Lenny, first bite, brace yourself. Immediate body-wide reaction, taste buds blown. Tears streamed down her face, emotional chaos unleashed. The constellation didn't even know what to say. Flavor equals overpowering. While she ate, overcome with emotion, the cook woke up and witnessed the entire scene. Love at first bite, possible. He immediately fell for the woman he just met. Classic anime trope activated. The depraved one asked her thoughts on the taste. Stakes equals high. She admitted regret. Her time as a constellation was meaningless compared to this new flavor. Ego destroyed. Same ingredients as the omelet before, but the experience, totally different. Mind equals blown. Recognizing she finally understood what a true meal was, there was no denying the truth. Enlightenment served. And the warrior asked what happened to the challenge. Cliffhanger vibes strong. The constellation's reply hit like a freaking power-up notification, fully approved. No cap. The moment that news dropped, it started partying like it had just won a lifetime supply of energy drinks. The warrior blinked, asking if the depraved one had psychic powers or just got lucky knowing the outcome already. He admitted it was a total gamble, but he'd been plotting which chaos would make the story pop the most, trying to craft the slickest path forward. Smart bastard. She didn't even get it, then Nara shows up acting all modest, claiming she was the secret MVP behind it. Classic thanks for nothing, but also thanks energy. The depraved one nodded, adding that the lasagna at her place, absolute chef tier, no way he was lying. Her kitchen skills were the secret sauce that made him trust the whole plan, and he tossed her a thanks, you saved my ass kind of compliment. That got her all blushy, and he noticed something else brewing. Yep, this boy sees everything, nothing slips past. For clearing that hellish trial, the system tossed him another prize. Stage 3 unlocked, baby. Even with that upgrade, he still got his ass handed to him in fights. Lame. Frustrated, the system was like, bro, handle it yourself, but the kid insisted on returning the reward. Dumb but stubborn. Telling the hamburger mascot that there's literally nothing more important than stacking strength like its Pokémon levels. He still couldn't hang with the constellations, but he's not signing up for eternal grind mode either. Can't blame him. The constellation of gastronomy devoured everything on her plate like a pro, leaving the cook fairy grinning like an idiot. He asked if she was still hungry. She tried to play it cool, saying she could squeeze in a little more if sure. Then cue dramatic entrance, the head chef finally shows up. He asked if he could whip her up a dessert because he's never seen anyone enjoy food with that level of passion. And bro, that's savage dedication. As a chef, he was totally smitten by that energy, total simp mode. The constellation immediately said yes, and the depraved one's brain went, oh, this is happening. Justice piped up, saying her coworker had busted ass and wondered if she'd spill all this tea to their king. Before replying, she eyeballed the cup one more time, suspense much. She said she'd zip it, she's sticking around as a human in that dimension. Bold move. Justice freaked a little, warning that the challenge is done and she needs to bounce back to her role. But the woman was deep in thought. She wanted to rediscover the real meaning of cooking, respect. Justice warned that staying mortal could screw the universe's balance, but the constellation of astronomy had already made up her mind. Can't fight fate, bro. She walked over to the warrior, ready to drop some words of wisdom. Handing over pristine artifacts, shiny enough to blind a freaking peasant. The warrior froze, unsure if she should even accept these treasures. The constellation shrugged, calling it a simple thanks. Savage humility. The girl was lost on what to do, and the depraved one realized, oh, this just got spicy. Justice noticed chaos had erupted, the constellation of wrath ghosted, and gastronomy ditched her post. Universe in shambles. The human she was babysitting, absolutely wrecking everything. Classic mortal-level catastrophe. The warrior didn't know how to use the artifacts, so she handed them out. Assassin grabbed the knife and immediately started plotting the most evil thoughts. Good luck, buddy. All that was left for her, a golden spoon, fancy much. The depraved one told her to keep it, grow stronger, don't be dumb. The hamburger hopped off the protagonist's shoulder and waddled to the constellation of astronomy. Iconic. He gently took off his own crown like a noble freaking idiot, saying if she's gonna stick around, she might as well rule over her people. Queen vibes activated. She probably wanted to chow down on the hamburger mid-training, but she held back. Respect for that self-control. Still, she's gastronomy, she doesn't eat just anything, like ever, deal with it. Even so, she was hella thankful for the hamburger's gift, though his ego got brutally curb-stomped. Poor guy. If she takes the lead in the constellation of War's realm, she's bound to learn a ton. Level up impending. The depraved one figured she had zero clue about constellations either. Rookie mistake. He suspects another challenge is around the corner. They've already smashed through two, hell yeah. Never noticed how each trial flips the story's genre. Wild. The protagonist finally caught on, wondering if the author ever sleeps or just lives in a caffeine-fueled nightmare. Justice then declared no more trials for now. She's gonna try lobbying the Constellation Council. Ambitious. Telling everyone to go back to their boring mortal lives. Lame, right? The warrior asked if that meant zero more deadly adventures. That's when fun popped in like, good luck with that, savage timing. Everyone blinked, his sudden appearance was peak, what the hell, energy. Saying the next constellation's already waiting and they're taking them there pronto. Buckle up, idiots. Justice tried to beg him to chill, but good luck with that. Fun, being the absolute chaos incarnate, said the next target was a zodiac constellation and they'd speedrun this nonsense. Boom, they were teleported in a flash, no loading screen. Leaving the cook and the constellation of astronomy stuck in the background like abandoned NPCs. Our protagonist found himself smack in the middle of a rainy-ass, cloudy hellscape. Mad as hell because Front ditched them in this wet garbage and ghosted like a coward. He popped one of his powers to shield himself from the rain and checked if everyone was okay, but nah, everyone was soaked to the bone. Classic. Scoping the area, he realized this place was nasty AF, and started wondering which sad excuse for a constellation called this dump home. Trap suddenly said she could feel a monstrous killing intent, something she hadn't caught from the other constellations, and some mysterious voice was like, that's nothing. Savage understatement much. Out of a puddle of filth emerges a woman declaring that passing her challenge, completely impossible, yeah, try me. She finally revealed herself to the group, peak dramatic entrance. Yep, Scorpio, zodiac vibes activated. Justice instantly recognized her, oh great, old friend energy with a side of doom. She was also the constellation of despair, big yikes. Her mere presence tilted the universe's mood meter hard. Justice rushed over trying to reason, no way, these mortals can't take another challenge. But she got straight ignored, moron move. No matter what Justice yelled, Scorpio had already locked in her destroy or die mindset. The Constellation Assembly had already preached that challenges are the ultimate power-up for mortals. Scorpio, not waiting, zero patience. She could literally feast on the energy of these lives and the quality was top tier, jackpot. She wanted to devour it ASAP, refusing to back down from her sadistic little challenge. That's when the swamp got grossly humid, and the water started creeping up like it was auditioning for a horror flick. And Scorpio, she wanted them to surrender to despair, not win. That's her twisted deal. The depraved one was like, not happening lady, slapping down his power to stop them from getting swallowed. Take that, swamp. Boom, massive explosion, fireworks but deadly. He demanded Scorpio pay attention, no one ignored this dude. Asked what the hell was wrong with these entities that make life only to try to end it. Rude. He absolutely hated that type, and guess what? Stage 3 Ascension was finally his playground. He even briefly flirted with the idea of turning her into an ally. She looked damn good on paper, character design-wise. But nope, discarded immediately. Constellations clearly give zero shits about life. Cool story, bro. Just as he prepared his signature finger attack, Scorpio slapped it down with one hand. Smooth. Saying it was impossible, she refused to let such chaos happen in her turf. Chill girl, it's just a finger. That's when he clocked her insane speed and power, zodiac-level strength. Yeah, things got real. Way above Herald of Wrath tier. If she wanted him dead, he'd be screwed so hard he'd need a respawn. Still, he decided to throw everything he had, and Scorpio noticed an artifact that used to belong to Wrath. Major power-up alert. Finally, he landed a hit, sweet. Forcing Scorpio to actually defend herself, first time she sweats. His strike carried pure destructive rage, the kind that makes planets go oh. Scarring the atmosphere like some cosmic graffiti. Stage 3 unlocked meant he could wield the artifact without rage eating him alive. Nice. Fall to the ground, despair laughed. Humans aren't supposed to have this kind of op energy. The depraved one grinned, believing he could actually win this fight. Big brain energy. Charging at Scorpio with all he had. Determination levels over 9,000. Until Justice popped in, stopping him mid-swing. "You can't just do that, idiot." He asked her to step aside, teasing that continued interference would make her boring and tank her popularity. Savage clap. But Justice insisted she was protecting him and humanity. If he kept going unchecked, the Constellation Council would erase them all. Yikes. Still, her warnings weren't enough to budge his stubborn brain. After getting hit, Despair dusted herself off, saying, "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Humanity doom can't dodge extinction." Because that's the path she locked in, brutal. Those words had the protagonist's team shaking, fearing the literal end of humanity. Talk about panic mode. And then they saw it, a freaking tidal wave barreling toward them like a tsunami straight out of a disaster movie. The size alone was enough to make anyone scream. Massive doesn't even cut it. The constellations cackled, promising they'd drown in the swamp of despair, suffering the worst hopelessness imaginable. Yikes. The depraved one immediately clocked that his crew was in deep trouble. Time to drop a magic barrier pronto. Before he could even cast it, Despair lunged at him, all give up loser, like the ultimate passive-aggressive villain. Justice tried to calm everyone down, yelling for them to follow her lead. Good luck with that in this chaos. Thanks to her authority, the swamp trapped them in illusions of their deepest pain. Welcome to hell, folks. One nightmare after another, designed to crush souls, and they had to survive without losing it. No pressure. Endure it all, make it to the end, and maybe, just maybe, they'd escape. Fingers crossed. Justice then addressed Despair, saying the humans she'd met were nothing short of incredible. Even with the power to bend the universe, their brains and willpower were next-level insane. They weren't weak like she assumed, they could actually handle this challenge. Surprise, bitch. Justice was confident they'd survive, but as her pep talk ended, the wave slammed down on them like a freight train. Her key advice: don't let it crush you, simple but hard. The swamp was instantly obliterated by the surge. Boom, gone. The depraved tried raising a magic barrier to fight it off. But Justice swooped in, scooping him up like a cosmic babysitter. Smooth. "Your friends, they'll be fine," she said, calm, collected, zero panic. He had to stop fighting the swamp head-on and face Despair directly, otherwise no win. Harsh but true. Looking around, he spotted all his companions still hanging on. Relief, sort of. He told Justice he'd leave them in her hands. She promised not to worry, she'd protect all of them, every last body. As soon as he dropped his barrier, he got swallowed by pure despair. His mind sank into a bottomless, dark lake like it had become a living nightmare. Faster and faster until he blacked out completely and got dragged somewhere else entirely. Not a soft landing. A familiar voice pierced the darkness. A man said he'd already told him to go buy bread, but the idiot kept sleeping. Classic. Then bam, grabbed by the head and slammed face first into the floor. Brutal. The depraved woke up, head pounding, unsure where he was, while the man yelled, "Still not awake, idiot." Now he had no choice but to follow. That was his classroom, but weirdly he didn't feel like he'd time-traveled. Reality glitch. Finally, he figured maybe this was one of Justice's despair scenarios. Great, just great. The man kept threatening him and he realized it was his past self. The school nightmare version of him, Pain City. He wondered what the hell the point of all this was, totally lost on his role in this simulation. But he decided to tough it out, ride the illusion like a pro. Still holding on to all the powers he'd gained before. Things didn't go as he imagined, no surprise there. He swore he'd get one satisfying moment to school that jerk named Link someday. Sweet revenge energy. But for now, massive humiliating beatdown, completely one-sided. Brutal reality check. Even tried freezing the bully with his powers. Nope, didn't work, total chump. That just made the bully angrier, none of his tricks landed, classic fail. No amulets, no abilities, zero backup. All he could do was take beatings while keeping his teeth clenched. Pain. Only despair ruled the scene. While getting pummeled, he had to endure every cruel insult. The bully sneered that more beatings awaited if he didn't obey. The depraved pondered, recently he could obliterate planets with a finger. Now, pathetic. He told himself it was all a mental simulation, but worry crept in for his friends, probably stuck in their own nightmares too. The bully here way less cruel than real life somehow, not that it mattered. Time to gather strength, he decided, stand the hell up. No more giving in to despair, now was his chance with the jerk's back turned, hero instincts activated. Using his newfound instincts as a savior-level hero, ready to throw down and save the freaking earth. Charging in like a man possessed, no chill whatsoever. He actually landed a hit, but surprise, surprise, it barely scratched the damn target. Instead of winning, he just lit that figure's fuse even more. Who grabbed him by the neck like a damn ragdoll, crystal clear that this beatdown wasn't gonna be gentle. The thud of his body smacking the floor echoed like a freaking drumline. His face swollen beyond recognition. Honestly, someone call Photoshop, this is peak unrecognizable human. If given a chance, he'd probably turn that kid into a hamburger patty and call it lunch. Inside the classroom, forget even touching the system screen. Keep getting smacked like that and despair would swallow him whole. The depraved finally realized fighting wasn't optional, solo missions, nope, he needed a damn teacher. First name that popped into his head, the warrior from his team, the one built like an Olympic god. Maybe he wouldn't become a ninja, but at least he could stop looking like a total potato. Plan, hit her up during break. Leaving the classroom, he realized his nose was still bleeding. Charming, right? Great time to try talking to anyone. Before he could even muster words, he saw her chatting with the jerk. That felt weirdly intimate, you. And she clearly wasn't vibing with it either, even if the jerk was too dumb to notice. The moron kept pushing for closeness until the warrior shoved him back, telling him to back the hell off. Jerk's ego ready to explode even more. But the depraved was already on him like a freaking Velcro backpack, jumping onto his back, clinging with all the grace of a clingy koala. Yelling at the jerk to scram, claiming the girl was taken, honestly, even he had no clue why he said that. While the chaos unfolded, the warrior watched thoughtfully, blinking at his audacity. The jerk couldn't take the depraved's crap anymore. Asking to die, aren't you? The warrior warned, sensing escalation demanding a stop. But of course, the jerk was primed for full-on idiot mode. Smashing the depraved onto the floor like he was auditioning for a WWE highlight reel. Hard enough to injure any normal human, like rip anyone else. Truly insane, like Michael Chandler level insanity in the UFC, and yeah, he still lost to Charles Dubronx. The warrior, witnessing this madness, asked the jerk if he wanted a free trip to juvenile detention. Jerk's response, nah, dad's rich enough to bail me out anytime. Classic asshole flex. Lying there, the depraved barely had the energy to breathe. Realizing he couldn't claw his way out of despair alone, while the insults of the world drilled into him. The prey had barely caught a break, and guess what? The jerk attacked again. Dumbass alert. That's when the warrior grabbed his hand like a pro, leaving the jerk stunned, hearing her firm, "You better stop." He didn't like her defending that freak, but she stayed mad as hell. Gripping her hand tightly, he asked if there was something going on between them. Bold moron. She wasn't gonna take that kind of abuse anymore. Snatched his hand in a blink. Spun it in a perfect circular motion. Wrist twisted, pain delivered, jerk drops to his knees like the idiot he is. And as if that wasn't enough, she still threw punches to his face. Brutal, savage, peak anime moment. Meanwhile, the depraved stayed grounded, flirting with his own despair like a hopeless romantic. Everything moved too fast, the jerk got obliterated, no contest. Once the dust settled, the depraved started rising from the floor, recognizing that what just happened was straight up legendary. Then the girl approached the weird kid, asking if he was okay. His head had slammed the floor hard. He had no clue what occipital meant, so the warrior explained, "Back of the head, thanks for the vocab lesson, savage lady." Hurt? Yeah, serious, now barely a scratch. She wanted to know why he even got involved. She could have handled her own damn fight. That's when the depraved blurted out, "Do you know how to fight?" She casually dropped that she'd binged tons of online special forces vids and was basically training to be a soldier someday, a thought the depraved never, ever imagined about her. She kept going, saying even if he looked fine, smacking his head like that could have ended badly. No kidding, Sherlock. Reaching her hand out like a pro, she asked if he could stand. Because duh, she was taking him to the infirmary. After that small act of kindness, the depraved hesitated, then reached for her. And finally their fingers met. Cue dramatic anime moment. That's when it hit him, holy crap, this is actually happening. Meanwhile, the jerk had recovered and looked like someone just stole his favorite toy. Furious doesn't even cover it. He cocked his head and asked what kind of weird-ass relationship they had. Before they could answer, he flexed his jerk muscles, declaring he wouldn't go easy on the girl just because she was female. Talk about a toxic power trip. The depraved felt a pang of worry. None of this was real, but holy hell, that guy trying to hit a girl. Way over the line. And of course, reality checked in, the jerk charged full-on, no breaks. Absolute moron. But the warrior's eyes were icy daggers, battle-forged and unshakable. Fear, not in her vocabulary. A voice echoed down the hall, the teacher was coming. Plot twist, timing matters. Those two were seconds from a fight that could have gotten seriously ugly. Hearing the teacher approaching, the jerk's coward mode kicked in classic. Had to follow the playbook. Before bolting, he spat on the depraved's head and warned he'd get crushed after school. Savage and gross, bonus jerk points. That act made the warrior's blood boil. Not just a jerk, a disgusting one. She genuinely couldn't understand how some people could be that vile, while the brave kid just took it like a champ. All of this just a virtual reality scenario, nothing real, but feelings don't care. Just seeing her pissed off over him, enough to make his day. Somewhere, a third party noted that the unlikely duo might actually draw attention. And they smirked subtly, clearly enjoying the chaos. Eventually, they made it to the infirmary. The depraved insisted he was fine, of course. Pride first, logic maybe later. After all, he'd put his foot in it. Maybe he really was okay. His eyes didn't look too bad, but she leaned in closer to check, making him squirm like an idiot. She told him to stay put until the teacher arrived. Smart move. So he lay on the bed while the warrior sat beside him, patient and unamused. He asked why she hadn't left yet. Her answer, no one else was around, and if he freaked out it could get ugly. Responsibility much. Plus, she wasn't feeling like going back to class, honesty points earned, and yep, he thought she was even cuter now. The depraved, of course, asked again how she knew how to fight. The warrior shrugged it off, no pointless chit-chat for him. Understanding that, he simply thanked her for the help. Then he launched into some random history lesson. Wanna hear something interesting? Turns out the depraved and the little jerk went way back, childhood buddies thanks to their dad's work connections. As kids, they played like best friends, no big drama. Until one day, he started noticing just how different they were. That's when things naturally started to shift. One ordinary day, the depraved bumped into someone. He looked back, confused as hell, only to find himself stared down by a gang of juvenile delinquents. Lovely. And yep, the jerk's childhood buddy was among them, awkward. But he did nothing, time and distance had already done their damage. Before he became the loser in the jerk's eyes, they were actually friends. Shocking, right? Until the jerk's treatment escalated into full-on unbearable territory. But reality check, things didn't start bad. That's when the warrior cut him off, saying she couldn't listen to the sob story anymore. You're an idiot and this is your fault. Ouch, savage truth bomb. He pushed back, sure, some people are like her, strong and capable, the rest, total trash. She shot that down as childish self-pity. Try and maybe you could actually fix things. Damn, mic drop. The depraved whined that she only talked like that because she didn't get it. Classic excuse. His dad's job was tangled up in all this drama too, so he figured there was nothing he could do. Pathetic. Once again, the girl just flat out called him an idiot. Savage. She didn't buy that his dad would actually shrug off the situation. Spoiler, she was right. Letting out a deep sigh, she realized she might have gone too hard in the convo. That's when the protagonist swallowed his pride and asked for help. At first, she blinked, confused. He reminded her she said things could change if he tried, so here he was, giving it a shot. Asking her to teach him how to fight like a real man, bold. That request left the warrior wide-eyed, genuinely surprised. But also kind of relieved, finally, something real was happening. She asked if he truly wanted to learn. She could tell he was actually interested. But before the convo could go further, her eyes flared with an intense bluish light, peak anime energy. And then she said no. Confusion slammed into the depraved like a freight train. Another wave of despair washed over him. Why the hell was this happening? She explained she had zero interest in doing anything in his company. Brutal honesty. And suddenly the bed started to feel like a small swamp swallowing him whole. Nice visual, huh? He struggled, realizing giving up wasn't an option, not now. Everything had to be done to fix this mess. With a Herculean effort, he pushed himself up, one arm braced on the bed frame. Declaring loud and shameless, he liked her, boom. Her face froze, completely baffled, snapping her out of whatever trance she'd been in. The depraved repeated it just to be sure he liked her, only had the guts because hey, none of this was real. With the stakes this high, he decided to bet everything, all in. The girl naturally looked more irritated than ever. Way too weird, she muttered. Standing up, she admitted she regretted stepping into his jerk problem. Classic adulting regret. Meanwhile, our protagonist sank deeper into that swampy bed abyss. Before she left, he shouted a magic word, lasagna, yes, lasagna. Claimed it was the dish she made best. Warrior blinked, how do you know that? Then he rattled off more, how she wanted to be a soldier as a kid, played baseball and could cook like a pro. Freaking creepy or what? She instantly pegged him as a mega creep, while he sank deeper into despair, barely able to answer. Then came the kicker, he claimed he was her boyfriend from the future. Risk level insane, stakes, nothing left to lose. Her brain officially fried. She couldn't even speak, just left the room in utter disbelief. Our protagonist collapsed into the bed, thinking, yep, definitely overdid it. The deeper he sank, the more he wondered if this was the absolute end. Until a hand pulled him up, dragging him back to the surface. Hero move. Back on the bed, back in the world, slightly less pathetic. It was the warrior from his team, ready to make him explain the mess he'd just caused. She reminded him, yes, she had played baseball and loved cooking. Now explain how the hell he knew all that in this future boyfriend nonsense. The depraved paused, trying to process the insanity around him. Noticing her hand still holding his tightly, dramatic tension alert. She looked a bit embarrassed from the earlier confession, cute but deadly. Seeing their hands still together, she punched him in the face out of frustration while still holding his hand. Nurse walks in, perfect timing. She stopped them, asking what on earth they were doing. Totally interrupted a very intense, not at all romantic anime moment. Outside the school, Turns out the future boyfriend thing, complete lie, classic depraved level fibbing. But also discovered they were actually companions fighting interdimensional creatures, and one of those monsters trapped them in this virtual prison. Yep, plot twist. Now she was convinced he was a dangerously unstable weirdo needing therapy. Even he had to admit the story was a mess. And the strangest part, she didn't even notice him sinking into the bed abyss again. Classic anime obliviousness. He swore he wouldn't bug her anymore, but insisted he desperately wanted to learn how to fight. Jerk problems, gotta handle them. She rolled her eyes, no way was she wasting her time teaching someone like him. Praise, forget it. He doubled down, saying everything he'd told her was true except the future boyfriend stuff. That's how he knew her personal details, creepy but true. Promised he wouldn't lie again. She remembered the confession and wondered if any of it had actually been real. On top of that, he reminded her that the jerk had tried to hack her earlier. Digital villainy, classic. He couldn't ignore it, that guy wasn't touching her again. Slowly, the girl grew embarrassed by the entire situation, facepalm-worthy. She admitted he might already be capable of beating the jerk, ambitious but naive. Considering the obvious size difference and the fact the jerk at least knew basic martial arts, he could throw a punch. And the depraved, a twig in comparison. Good luck accomplishing anything in a few hours, ridiculous. With no other option, he decided to try anyway, especially since she encouraged him in the first place. Respect. Maybe, just maybe, hard work could actually change things. She didn't even remember saying those encouraging words, but he did. Previous chapter receipts. Cornered, she agreed to help him, but warned Seki wasn't going to win anytime soon. Then calmly, she stepped closer and clocked him right in the mouth. Brutal. Knocked to the ground, he asked why. She said it was necessary to settle things before the fight started. Tactical savage. Gotta create an opening and target a vital spot, she explained, motioning like she was about to crush his crown jewels. Literal savage. She declared they'd train that technique until class ended. And he realized that was his own body, own rules, own pain. The auction of humiliation was underway. Finally, the school day ended, freedom not for him. Completely drained, the depraved felt her training was tougher than a constellation's trial. Brutal, no joke. Totally worn out, someone approached. It was the jerk calling him to follow. Oh, this is gonna hurt. But this time he had a plan, tactical thinking, yes. He remembered her training, why he got hit last time. Answer was obvious, she attacked suddenly with an elbow, she called it the point, makes sense. He got hit because he didn't see it coming, anticipate, and he could have dodged. Same logic applied against the jerk. The guy only thought about attacking, he wouldn't expect to get hit first. Depraved needed to act submissive, then strike the moment he got the chance. And that's exactly what he did in front of the jerk, perfect acting. The jerk blamed everything about what was happening on the depraved, classic asshole move. He even started taking off his jacket, totally distracted. And boom, protagonist struck him right in the crown jewels. Instant chaos. Worst pain imaginable, brutal, unforgiving, savage. He found an opening, hit a vital point, thanks tactical training. The jerk hit the floor, writhing, screaming like a wounded animal. While crying, he still threatened the depraved even more, delusional. But the boy watched, realizing the coward act had worked. He admitted to his friend, didn't feel comfortable with this strategy, but it was necessary. Until she asked, are you really that dumb or just trying? Ouch, savage burn. He was the weaker one, the victim clearly, not the coward. Actually, the real coward, definitely not him. Those words lit up his brain like a freaking neon sign. He looked at the jerk, now completely defenseless. Victory incoming. The jerk barely had the strength to stand. Depraved recalled, violence isn't the solution usually. But sometimes it's necessary, brutal life lesson. It felt too real, but comforted by knowing it was still fiction. Tiny solace. He vowed the jerk wouldn't mess with him again. Landed a clean punch right to his face. Boom, savage justice served, and just like that the video ends. Boom, savage finish. Smash that like, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Catch you next time on Bald Recap.